Hello, hello out there. We'll be starting in just a minute. Adam, why don't you try talking so we can make sure the levels are good on their end so they can hear you and everything?
Okay, how's everybody doing? Everybody hearing me okay?
We will no doubt know in about 30 seconds when they catch up to us.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's good, and I think we can start. Let me just double check everything here. Okay, ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to inform and entertain you about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run With the Will, and today we have another guest host.
AR Pulver. How's it going?
Good. Nice to have you on the show.
Thank you.
You at what you were going to be, then you weren't because of there was a convention, I believe.
Yeah, I was at ASUN over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. Picked up a lot of nice merch.
Yeah, I saw the images that you'd posted. For people who don't know, why don't you tell them just about who you are, just so that they have an idea who you are and that.
Sure. Well, I started in 2011. I run a website called Digimon System Restore. Since 2011, I've been writing an article to summarize, I break down, discuss, critique every single episode of the franchise. And I finished the bulk of it. I finished Hunters 2 years ago. I'm still keeping up with Try. I'm waiting on doing APPMON officially until we have an official release. I've been sort of doing mini reviews on my Tumblr page. But yeah, I've been doing that since 2011.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really expecting any AppMon news today, but it's actually a slight possibility because Toei's showing off their stuff at Licensing Expo today.
Oh, okay.
So we don't have any news from it, but there's always the possibility that we will end the show and then we will find out there's news.
Of course.
Yeah. Um, and you're also very active on Twitter,
Hmm.
discussing the show with many people, and always showing off the very nightly. You've put up like a board with merchandise, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I have to update that now with all the new stuff I have. I got a couple more charms and keychains and some buttons from Artist Alley that need to find a home up there.
What's the high point of your collection? Like, what's the thing that's like the centerpiece for you?
Oh man, I really like that I found one of the plush Meikumons, like one of the original release ones. Like they've got some of the new ones from Try Now, but the fact that I found one of the little ones, I'm really proud of.
Oh, okay, for a second I thought you meant the crazy one.
No, no.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm just trying to think of which Meku one you're thinking of. Is the one from the little train?
I don't think so, no. I think it's like a keychain one. Or
Oh,
one with
oh,
a
okay.
keychain.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, those are nice. Uh, so what Digimon stuff are you looking forward to at this point? Because we're
Well, right,
sorry, we're kind of in like a Digimon dead zone at the moment, sort of.
sort of. I mean, we're still getting. I like that we're getting the new Atmon episodes every week. Right now it's really holding until we get a date for the next Try movie and maybe the first trailer.
Yeah, everything is sort of like in a holding pattern. People like Atmon, but everyone's kind of waiting for the big thing. And you can some people are like really starting to flip out about it. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I'm if they weren't confident about releasing it in 2017, I don't think they would have said they were releasing it in 2017.
Well, not only that, they've said it a few times. So it's not like they went.
Hmm.
It's not like they went 2017 and then we didn't hear anything for 3 months. They've said 2017,
Yeah,
2017, and 2017.
yeah, I believe when they released the summary, they still said 2017. So it still that still seems
Yeah,
to be on.
yeah. And plus, even since the beginning, uh, we've all kind of expected at some point there was going to be some sort of break in the schedule,
Right.
because that's just how this type of release works.
Yeah, that 3 month gap between movie 1 and 2 was nice, but that's not sustainable.
No, and we saw that with the break between 2 and 3.
Hmm.
And of course, releases like this also have. I mean, we don't know, and I'm not even sure it will happen. But releases like this also have a tendency to underestimate what it will take to tell the story.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I can't even think of a single release of this style that did not get extended at some point.
Hmm. And there's a lot. This next movie, a lot needs to happen if they really plan to do it in 6 movies. So I can understand that they're taking their
Yeah,
time to make sure they get everything right.
yeah. Especially since, I mean, they could very easily just announce the date at DigiFest and go, "It's gonna be out in November." Woo!
Right.
There's really no rush because they have places they can announce it in a fancy manner if they want to.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, do you expect we're getting a 2018 delay?
Delay movie 5 until
Yeah.
2018?
Because
No, no,
because
I'm still.
yeah, that's generally around because people keep bringing up that it must be delayed because they're not talking about because they don't have to.
No, I mean
Yeah.
when movie one came out in November, and they didn't announce the date for that until May.
Yeah. We've just been we're kind of spoiled in that we've gotten everything really quickly.
Yeah, we've had the prior till now we've had the date for every movie right after the
Yeah.
previous movie ended.
Yes, literally on the end screen. In fact, I think for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think everyone now knows enough about you and where your mind is on it that we can start going into site stuff in the news. Woo.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So first up, our UK contest ended. Prizes should be out to the winners, and this time there was one image and one text one. And I don't know. I really liked both of the entries, and I thought they worked really well.
Hmm.
And I will be double checking with the winners to make sure they get their prizes because you never know. I like to keep track of it. So thanks everyone for entering, and hopefully we'll be able to do that for the people in the UK again because we very rarely get to do that for them. And on top of that, the release is actually out in the UK. Um, I didn't see any real need to spend the money to import it, but luckily a member did scans and everything, and we were able to, put up a sort of breakdown of it. Smaller than we normally do just because I can't go crazy into the disc when I don't have it. That's about it for site stuff, so we have a bunch of actual news to go over. First thing, Premium Bandai finally has opened an American shop, and there's no Digimon stuff yet. What do you think of this?
Fingers crossed that we'll get some eventually. That's
Yeah, I mean,
You just gotta hope.
yeah, the only real issue is because they're running it out of their Hong Kong offices. The shipping's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that number jumped out at me.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they just don't have the. There's no reason for them to have a warehouse out here yet.
Yeah, and they do have some distributing deals going on here for future items for
Yeah,
other stuff.
yeah. I mean, hopefully we get something, but I mean, right now it's literally just a stack of Gundam stuff, and then they seem to be every 2 weeks or so cycling out a Godzilla-related item.
Hmm.
So hopefully we get stuff, but who knows? speaking of premium Bandai, they're bringing back some items, most of which we can still get here in the USA. Um, I mean, this is kind of not relevant to us, minus it's just nice to see some of this. Like, I forgot the giant Coromon plush even existed.
Yeah,
Um, None of us are going to get a hold of these.
I have never seen the big life-size Coromon plushie. I've seen the smaller ones around, but
Yeah, I believe the stuffed collection was only sold at Premium Bandai, and it's basically $50. And of course, these are lottery only, so no one we've ever heard of will win these.
yeah.
But the reason they're doing the lottery is relevant because Mega Hobby Expo is this weekend, and who it's hard to say if we're going to get any announcements out of that because they're sort of announcing stuff randomly elsewhere. I mean, do you think we're going to see anything from it? Because it's like a big toy show. Do you think we might see a new prototype of a gem figure or not?
Yeah, they usually roll something out. Hard to predict what it might be. I will say,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I will say that the some of those figures I had seen, some of those I did see on the shelves at the convention last weekend. Eagle Anime did have Daisuke Takato and the Mimi figures on their shelves.
Yeah, those are actually still available from U.S. distributors. I believe they're completely gone in Japan at this point. That's why they're offering them that way. But here, like I believe the Mimi Lilymon figure is still at Right Stuff, and the other two are still at Crunchyroll's U.S. store.
Okay,
So those are
but
easy. Those are easy enough to find, but they probably won't be soon.
yeah, once they're gone,
Yeah,
that's it.
unless they do a reprint later, which isn't impossible. But they've been, I think they've only reprinted four of them so far. I'm not 100% sure on that. But we still have two prototypes we haven't seen painted, so I'd like to see those.
Mm-hmm.
The Dukemon Crimson Mode and the Lady
Yeah.
Devimon figure, who I don't think we've seen since they originally showed it. I mean,
Yeah, I actually forgot about that one. I
well,
remember the Dukemon, but
yeah, because the Dukemon one they had posed
yeah,
with Beelzebumon and everything. The Lady Devimon
right,
one they
right.
showed once, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up, we're back to rubber straps. The the world is going to
I
end in.
love rubber. I love these rubber.
Oh no! I love them too, but it seems like the world is going to end, and there will just be cockroaches and piles of rubber straps. And there's a reason they make so many of these. They're generally good quality while very cheap to buy,
Mm-hmm.
and fans love
Mm-hmm.
them because they're nice but they're cheap to buy.
Yeah, I have several of these. I'm not sure if this is the same set as the ones, a new set of a new series of the ones I have, but
I believe officially they're a new series, but they're the same company that made
right.
the. I I think they were dual character straps last time, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I got a. Well, I mean, I was buying these blind box, but I got the Vmon and the Chibimon, and last
yeah.
weekend I got a Tailmon and Plotmon.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, officially these are new. They're not Series 3, but it's the same company and really the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same idea, just
Yeah.
different images.
Um, which ones here do you think are the high point and the low point of these? Uh,
I personally like the Patamon one with the Digi-Egg style balloons.
yeah.
That I thought was particularly cute. The one I cannot my for low point I love Guilmon, but I just can't get excited about Digimon.
See, I feel like that would work if Digimon was like more facing towards us with a smile or something.
Yeah,
It sort of looks like
yeah.
he's just there.
Hmm.
Like sort of like the Terrormon one. I think the Terrormon's great because you can see Gummymon. They do the little tooth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
You
the
can.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
Vmon one's great. I don't really like the
Hmm.
Agumon one to be honest. Something about the design just looks to me.
Is that a bow around his meat?
Yes, for some reason.
Okay
I
then.
don't know. It's just like even the drawing of Agumon, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean these are nice, and the
This was
price is good, and it's always nice when this crap is not randomly packed.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
I think
These are gonna sell cases to to
mhm.
importers, I think.
Yeah, I'll see these eventually.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll pick one up. I think Agumon's posture is too good.
You know, I think that's probably what it is because he actually looks like a person running, and that just isn't what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, these I like how the little V pet symbol type thing is its own piece though. That's
Yeah.
kind of neat and
Yeah,
a bit
that's
different.
mm-hmm.
Although it gives another break point for the strap though.
True.
Um, but you know, hopefully they're made well. And we're done with the more basic Digimon news. We get to move on to APPMON. APPMON. Um, Ending 4 has been announced, and it's different. I mean, I believe is this the first ending theme sung by men for APPMON?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So it's being sung by a group called Traffic Light, which is three members, and each one are color themed after Japanese traffic lights. And the composition for the song is being done by Ayumi Miyazaki, which is his first time being involved with APPMON,
Yeah.
which seems to be the thing most people are excited about, and I kind of knew that when I was writing it, to be honest.
Yeah, it's hard not to
Yeah,
be. Again, I don't know anything about Traffic Light. They seem pretty new, but yeah, Ayumi Miyazaki
yeah.
can't.
And the song is being called "Perfect World," and they've literally given it the description of the cool ending theme to APPMON.
The cool ending
Well,
theme. Well, I wouldn't describe the first three endings for Atmon as cool.
well,
So,
but there is sort of a habit with anime stuff to describe it as cool before they've shown it to anyone.
yeah.
Is like we can decide on our own if it's going to be cool or not. And of course, that could be them making a joke, and the song's not cool at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how many ending themes in Digimon would you describe as cool? Is the question. I can only think of a couple that I would say that was a really cool song.
See, the problem
There,
is,
some of them are good songs.
oh,
Don't get me
absolutely.
wrong.
But even now, thinking about it, my mind just keeps jumping to different APPMON songs to compare it to. My brain is not properly going to older Digimon songs.
Right. Well, you can compare. Yeah.
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 Be-
Ending songs for sure. But yeah, across Atmon and Digimon.
yeah, it will be nice to get back to a song that appears to be original for the franchise, though.
Yeah.
That was my one issue with the last one, which was called Little P, was that it was a pre-existing song, and I don't know, the franchise has never really done that.
Yeah. Yeah. It felt it's a cute song. I don't see how it fits with Atmon.
I still don't understand why they're just not doing. And I mean, they have an idol character. Just have her do an end song,
Yeah. She does have an insert song
which has,
somewhere in one episode, but
which, as I recall, has not been seen since. They've announced no release for it. And it's kind of weird. And there's way too many damn releases for this song.
yeah.
Um, the CD comes out on August 2nd, and there's four versions, which, okay, whatever. That's what the market is now. But have you seen how many different places you have to buy it from if you want all the exclusive crap?
No.
There's seven different exclusive things. But wait, it gets worse. Let's go over the CDs. The first one, which is basic, you get the song and four other tracks, which aren't necessarily
Mm,
of interest to us.
right.
Then you get a version with um, the song we want, four other tracks, but one of the tracks is different and it's themed after one of the singers. And you also
Mm-hmm.
get a music video and a making of DVD. The second special edition is going to be an actual APPMON version. I assume that means some sort of APPMON cover. Same setup there. One of the songs are themed after a member of the band, but they aren't telling us what the bonus item is. Which I for some reason I just why why there's too much not announced here. And the third version of the album's the same as the second. They're not announcing too much of it, but they announced the exclusive song for it. And then the exclusive stuff for stores is just psychotic. I mean, do you see this list?
Yeah. Yeah.
3 different stores have versions of the same song, but each one's only, I guess, probably the main part's only sung by one person each.
Mm-hmm.
Then 2 different stores each have a DVD of a different song. Then a place will have can badges of each member, but apparently you only get one per purchase.
Oh.
And then the third store you get the bromide prints. There's just too much. It's just too much. I mean, I understand they need to do that much, but I'm gonna probably just get the APPMON version for the site and nothing else. There's just it's just this is psychotic. I mean, I kind of do miss the days when we'd get a CD, and then maybe 6 months later we get a new version of the CD with something different. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with you have to go to 7 different stores, buy the CDs 3 or 4 times. It's yeah. Okay. In better news, we have more updates on the Series 4 APPMON data CARDDASS cards, which I think those still run Pentium 4s, those machines.
Oh, jeez.
They've probably updated, but I haven't seen any information saying they have, so I'm gonna assume they're still running the same ones. We have pictures of Patamon and Tailmon, and they look nice, but of course those aren't in-game shots. Those are gonna be the card shots.
Right.
They start showing us the god grades. They've vaguely mentioned a special ability called Bond Awakening, which appears to have something to do with the anime, but they haven't really said yet.
Okay. I don't mind that they haven't really said it if it's something we're not supposed to know yet.
It appears it's probably like some sort of partner system that powers up a character, and it looks like they're gonna announce it this week.
Okay.
And then the last detail was that they confirmed that Agumon Black and Gabumon Black will have Ultimate Evolution as a special ability. We kind of already guessed that one, but
yeah.
And then they've given us silhouettes of who Tailmon and Patamon will evolve into, and it's pretty clearly Angemon and Holy Angemon.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Patamon side of it's. I mean, it sort of makes sense, but
yeah. I mean, I kind of want to collect these, but it seems like there's no point to doing it without the game.
Right.
I mean, the art's nice, but it's not that nice.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically it for that. We're going to. This was going to be the V-Jump section until we started getting more news, so now it's sort of, hey, we heard about this stuff with V-Jump, and we've got more information elsewhere. So the only thing purely from V-Jump at this point is that we kind of are seeing more APPMON stuff. Have you seen the picture of Gaiamon from V-Jump?
Yeah.
Does he... I mean, maybe it's just my imagination, but does he look significantly different than how we saw him in the 3DS game?
I don't remember how he looked in the 3DS game.
Like the characters in the 3DS game, the god grades, they're all kind of biggish and chunky, sort of. And this kind of looks more Digimon-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice, and we get an image of the Haru version of the Apple Drive Duo.
Mm-hmm.
We can see the blue one also, but we'll see more of that soon, no doubt. But that's basically it for that. The rest of the stuff was all originally V-Jump stuff until we got more information.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch of Hackers Memory stuff. They're really hyping Domination battles, but does it not really seem that special to you?
It's Splatoon the board game to me.
Basically. I mean, it's nice that they have a system in, but I'm not even sure if they've clarified if this happens online or if it's just part of the game.
Right. I would like to see it as part of the game. I mean, one cool aspect from Cyber Sleuth was that they had these different hacker teams, and at one point in the game there was this really awesome three-way battle that you see in a cutscene, and then they get to your part, and the gameplay is just a regular boss battle. I want to see kind of these team battles play out in some sort of gameplay way.
Well, that was my general complaint about Cyber Sleuth. Was it was just kind of boring. I mean, they have the engine now. Let's see the game be more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see some sort of gameplay upgrade
Yeah,
because the actual fighting aspect of it was sort of, eh.
yeah. It was about as vanilla as an RPG can get.
Yeah.
And in addition, they sort of give us new characters. Every single one of these characters we actually knew existed, and
Hmm.
two of the three actually showed up in the prior game. So we get Ryuji Mishima, who is the brother of Erika,
Hmm.
and then we get Arata and Yugo, who were both in Cyber Sleuth,
Yep.
and then they reveal Zubamon and his evolutions. Uh, Although it seems like a lot of people seem to think that this is the first time Zubamon's been seen, because
Oh, really?
uh,
Oh.
it might just be because Bandai USA showed off photos of it and then went, "Look, it's a new Digimon," and then everyone went, "Ooh, new Digimon," when we've
Hmm.
kind of known about this dude for a while.
Yeah. Well, I think this might be the first time people might be like, oh, this might be the first time a lot of people know they're going to be confronted with this new Digimon, that they're actually going to get to see and use this new Digimon.
True, and I gotta say he really does look nice in 3D.
He does.
And I like how the 20 is only on one part of the one edge of the nose blade.
Oh yeah.
I kind of figured it would be on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for Hacker's Memory. They're being very careful how they drip this out to us.
That's okay. A little bit at a
Oh
time.
no, it is. They're being rather clever about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we're back to the 20th anniversary V-Pets again. This is like the thing that it just won't vanish. We've been talking about these for like 6 months at this point, and no one has one yet. Um, so V Jump showed off the exclusive eggs, which we knew about, but they're still not telling us if there's anything new in them.
Hmm.
Just that these are for special Digimon, which doesn't tell us anything, but thank you, V Jump. I do have to give Bandai credit. They're very good at making things sound exciting, and then you sit there and think about it and you go, this doesn't say anything.
Hmm.
The
Like Domination the board, like the Domination
Yeah.
battles.
They confirmed the Shikishi boards. There will be 9,000 of them. They're not clarifying what that means, but I assume it means 3,000 for each of the three new colors.
Hmm.
And they've confirmed that pre-order was in June, which we already knew. Hooray! And now we start getting to the actual exciting news. First up, we have pictures of the Digivolving Spirit War Greymon figure. And it's nicer than I expected, to be honest.
Yeah, that works better than I thought it would.
Yeah. Especially since it looks like they went to great lengths to make it resemble the old figure.
Yeah.
Like, they probably could have done more if they started from scratch, but there is something about looking at this and going, wow, this is a from scratch remake of a figure from nearly 20 years ago. The price is a bit high, and I'm kind of hoping that the price is not accurate.
Mm.
7,020 yen, which at the moment with conversion that's about $63.
Hmm.
A little bit high, but we may be able to get these without importing, so we'll see.
Yeah. I'm going to reserve my judgment on these until I see some of the other sets because they both have the same feet, so it's not that they both have the same general color and the same feet. Let's see some of the more unusual,
Well, that's the
the
other
ones
thing.
that are the differences.
Well, that's the weird thing. We don't even know if we're gonna get any unusual ones. each one could be different. Each one could be based on an old figure. We have no clue.
Right.
I mean, like, I can think of ones that they didn't make in the old days that they could make easily if they want to. Like, for example, my go-to example is you could easily do Tailmon to Angelmon by making it a shell former.
Yeah.
Which is what they did with Impmon in the Tamers figure. And that worked reasonably
Okay.
well.
Yeah, I'm just going off the assumption that at some point some of them are going to have different feet.
Well, but you could also do tricks like, part of it, they flip around.
Yeah.
In this case, they've sort of built it based on, since they built it the way the old toys sort of folded around, you could easily have it so like, I'm trying to think of an example. I think the old Gabumon one did it so that parts of his cloak folded out to be front legs when he turned to Metal Garurumon.
Okay.
So you ended up with pieces so like here the feet are the feet and the hands are the hands.
Yeah.
And Agumon is sort of unique in that makes it easy to do. Others less so. Hopefully we get more information though because they're doing a live stream with special guests and it's going to be the director of Adventure, Hiroyuki Kakudo, and Kenji Watanabe, who is still working on this stuff 20 years later.
Wow.
Yeah. And for some reason, the moderator will be Minoru Shiraishi, who's a name I've not heard in a while. As far as I know, he's never been on Digimon, but he's generally well known. And, that will be late Friday night for most of us. And the interesting thing is they refer to showing the package design for the first series of figures.
Oh, okay.
What does that mean? Do they mean like the first one or two, or do they mean like they're going to do multiple series of these and they already have plans?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Because like, I would like to see like Adventure is my favorite of the choices. I would like to see more than Adventure. Like,
Yeah.
I would like to see a nice transforming Crosswars toy. All joking aside.
No, I'd really like to see that too. I would love stuff for future seasons. I feel like this is going to be very adventure focused.
See,
though.
I keep thinking that, but then I keep looking at the way stuff is written. If it's a Digimon Adventure line, why are they labeling War Greymon as being from Digimon Adventure?
That's true.
It feels like that little is like the gray bar with the orange text, that is specifically there so that they can have different show names.
They can change it up, yeah.
Yeah. But who knows? Hopefully we'll get more information during the live stream. And it looks like at the moment this figure's scheduled for November. I'd like the price to come down a bit, but I think it's actually a shockingly good figure and far better than I think anyone expected.
Yeah.
And someone in chat mentioned Patamon to Seraphimon would be a weird one. Although I think you could basically do that one roughly the same way that they did Patamon to Angemon, which was basically also a shell former, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So that's it for that figure. We're going to have more news on that in a few days, though. I think this was the big surprise of the last week. We finally have the first image and some details of the stage play.
I feel like that came early, to be honest. I thought we were going to have to wait a little bit of time to get that.
That's what I was expecting too, but I also wasn't expecting it to actually look good.
Yeah.
Like I'm just sitting here going, what the hell is I think it felt like we were all preparing jokes. And there's no joke to be made because it actually looks really good just from the one image we have.
It's Omegamon. What's Omegamon doing as part of a stage play?
Well, that could just be a promo image.
Yeah. I get that, but still, I was ready for no Digimon to be involved with this.
That was my expectation, but then I remembered someone commenting that I don't remember what franchise it was, but that the background for the stage play for whatever this franchise was an actual screen, so that they could have creatures appearing.
Okay.
And I was sitting there going, that would actually work decently, especially if it's used lightly. Or Omegamon has to show up to save the day, and then it switches to like a CGI film.
Yeah.
So we don't know. The description is very Digimon Adventure try-ish. Like I'm not sure how to put it beyond that. It just really does.
It has everything except once again the adventure evolves.
And oddly, no mention of Meiku or Meikumon. So,
Yeah.
So
It's sort of, yeah. It's really going to be interesting to see how they fit this into tri-canon, if they try to fit this into canon. Because one thing it says is if it's August 1st, 6 years later, that puts it like right up against post reboot, potentially pre-re-entry.
yeah,
Like, it's
but
really
it,
hard to fit this in.
but it could also be like the beach trip audio drama where wink wink it counts.
Right.
It effectively counts until something says it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't even know if depending on what sort of mindset everyone's in the play, I'm gonna have trouble saying it's gonna be it counts, but it
Yeah.
sort of technically fits type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah. That's basically what it is. Is it counts? It's sort of like movie 4 at the moment.
Yeah,
We don't really know
yeah,
if that counts, but we all sort of just go it counts until it doesn't. And
right. I
because
feel like Try made movie 4 count more. Like I had trouble seeing how movie 4 fit in until Try comes out and so clarifies some stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, movie 4 fits now.
yeah, movie 4 fits better in the sense that they clearly know they can just summon Omegamon,
Yeah,
which was never covered before really. But it's still sort of in the point where at any point they could just go, "Oh, we haven't used Omegamon since the first time we saw him," if they were to say something.
has Omegamon been in a TV series besides Cross Wars?
I'm trying to remember if he showed up at all in Savers. The Royal Knight show up so
Right.
much, I get lost on when they show up and where.
I forgot which ones showed up in Savers.
And I may be wrong. I want to say we saw some in an opening or ending who didn't show up. I may be misremembering that though.
That sounds like something Digimon would do.
The other thing is we have the the male cast, and a lot of people are like, well, this doesn't look quite right. But then you look like if you look at the actors who play Taichi and Yamato, they don't really look
Mhm.
the same once you go up and see them in costume.
Yeah, they're going to be wearing
Yeah,
wigs.
yeah. Like the one that people seem to most be complaining about is they seem to be complaining that Takaru's actor looks too old.
Well, they're
I,
not getting a 14-year-old.
I know. I looked at his age. He's 21 and he's the second youngest. I think the youngest was Joe's actor. But yeah,
Joe looks like that could work.
yeah. I mean, for Tucker's actor, they're gonna do up his hair. They're gonna give him 20 hats.
Mm-hmm. I hope.
It will be fine.
Yeah.
And anytime I comment that stuff like this doesn't always end up on home video, I get 20 messages from people giving me examples of ones that did. We don't know. We don't know if we'll be on home video or not. It's not impossible. It may not even be improbable. We just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, are you expecting a home video for this?
I think we'll see something. I think they're gonna release something for the local,
Yeah.
for regional, of course.
Oh, well, yeah, that's what I mean. But I mean, like, do you think there will be a home video release of the entire show?
At some point, I believe they will.
Hopefully. Although, if they don't, that just means less work for me. Um, they're only doing 10 shows in August, and the ticket lotteries are open. Tickets are expensive.
Oh, really?
Tickets are 7,800 yen. That's $75.
Jeez. Is that typical for a stage play based festival?
I believe so. I don't keep up news on them. The only reason I know as much about this one is because I have to. But
Right.
I assume so. That's expensive. I wonder if they're gonna have the weird goggles they did for a Sailor Moon show once. I don't.
Yeah, there's I wonder if there's some sort of giveaway involved.
Well, no. What I mean is I believe it was Sailor Moon, but I could be wrong. One of these stage show once, actually advertised as if you were an English fan, you could come to the show. They had like goggles you would wear that would have subtitles on them.
Oh,
It
that.
was Sailor Moon or Inuyasha or something that had a stage show.
Hmm,
They went if you're in Japan and you're a fan of this, at this showing you can rent goggles or glasses that. Okay, yeah. Milo in
okay.
the chat actually said yes. The Sailor Moon musicals had goggles with English or Chinese subtitles.
Huh.
So yeah, so maybe they'll do one showing that you can do it here. Who knows? We'd have no clue.
That would be.
Yeah.
That's asking. I think that's asking even more than a home video release to get that done.
Oh, I'm sure it is, but it's one of those things where we've seen what's possible.
Right.
We demand more stuff, but we don't really know. But we're gonna. See, I'm trying to decide. Like, are they gonna give us all the news in the next few weeks, or Is it gonna be like a slow drip for 2.5 months?
Right. And I wouldn't expect any sort of news on a home video release until after it's done.
Yes. Sort of like where with DigiFest, they announced at the last DigiFest
Yeah, yeah,
that it would be on home video.
yeah. You really get them in first, and then
Yeah.
sell your tickets to the actual event, and then worry about the home video release. It's like the, not quite the same thing, but it's like the
Yeah.
theatrical screening of Try, and then months after that, we'll find out about a home video.
Yeah. But yeah, everything looks nice here, and I don't know why I'm still like in shock over it actually looking good.
Yeah, I was sort of pondering a few, like a month or so ago, I was wondering, it's like, would it be weird if Digimon had a stage play? Because everyone else is doing it.
Well,
I
but
bet they could pull one off.
the weird thing though is, does it seem like the general Digimon community is so unaware of these that people are like, how would they do a stage play of Digimon? It's like, I don't think it's that different from like they've done them of so many franchises that aren't inherently dissimilar.
Right.
It's just a purely matter like what are like will there be Digimon, won't they? Or is it just going to be like the Agumon suit's going to walk up on stage as a one-off joke? Because
Which would be a, I'd go for that.
yeah, I could see that like the the Digimon are all off in the cyber holding space, and then somehow Agumon just walks on stage to say something and leaves.
They could actually utilize that cyber that holding that Koshiro's holding space for
Uh,
that, to somehow incorporate that into the stage play. Like just have him have his laptop and pop up, and that'll be where how the Digimon get represented.
See, that'd actually be pretty good. I think that's it for the stage play. I mean, we still need the female cast, and like, is there going to be a villain, or is this just going to be the 8 of them talking?
They could sell the 8 of them talking. It's adventure.
Oh, I'd buy the 8 of them talking.
Yeah,
I mean that to a point. That's what Try is.
yeah, in a way, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, and we're on to Digimon Adventure Try Part 1 has finally been released on disc in the USA and, as we mentioned earlier, the UK.
Hmm.
On the site, we have a clip of the bonus features, which is interview with the cast and director.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that great extra, and that leads us into our main topic for the episode, just talking about the release. I guess where would you like to start with this?
Oh, I mean, I'll say this. I found a thing I put on Tumblr in like October of 2015, and I managed to find it. And the exact quote I had was, in order to properly cater to to fans who grew up watching Digimon, not necessarily people who are in the community now, not necessarily anime fans. My exact quote was, they would need an English dub that does have the alter names and perhaps a few dub exclusive character checks, even if the content slash characterization remained untouched.
So you got
That's
it. So
pretty
you,
much what we got.
yeah, and they did it relatively well, to be honest. You know,
I agree. I really enjoyed the dub here.
I feel like there's only I'm sitting there thinking of all the moments the dub tweaked, like throwing in a prodigious.
That was the precision dropped
Yes.
prodigious. I would. That's exactly what I was talking about with dub character checks.
there's only one rewritten moment that I felt didn't work, and it's when when they sort of rewrote the slang to have Mimi say Foxy,
Yeah, yeah,
and
that one. I think the subs had the better pun with that.
yeah, yeah, I think they were trying to go back to the dub idea that Mimi was sort of Valley slangish type thing, but I felt in that case if they were going to use slang, they might have wanted to update it a bit because Foxy comes off a bit old and goofy.
A little bit, yeah,
Which that's not to say that doesn't match Mimi, but
yeah.
so overall, how do you think the dub was on its own?
I thought the dub was very good. I thought it was. I just like that they kept it mostly to the script, but even so, they still managed to find the voices for a lot of the characters, even the ones they recast. Like I found Kari, even though she had a new, she had a different voice actress, that she still sounded like Kari and not Hikari, and they still kept it pretty close to what the script.
That was that's sort of like the opposite flaw to what happened with Garumon. It sounded more like it didn't sound right.
Yeah, Gatomon, that one probably needs some getting used to. And some of them, like Joe, I really can't judge because Joe's barely in this movie. Next movie, I will judge Joe.
Yeah, I don't know why, but with Joe, it seems like it feels like with Joe as one of the characters who's grown up the most, it's easier to ignore if there's a change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, in general, the cast is good. What was most interesting was to figure out like, okay, whose voice has changed a little bit, and whose is exactly the same in every way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sora and Mimi were a bit different, a bit.
I noticed that Sora. The first couple times I heard Sora, what struck me was it sounded a little closer to Angie from Fusion than Sora from
Yeah,
Adventure.
but as far as we know, that's also why we have a new TK.
Yeah,
I don't think we've ever been able to confirm that, but as far as I know, that is why we have a new one. Is he just can't do the voice anymore?
that yeah could be. I mean, he was there. He was
Yeah,
in. He was Daigo.
yeah. So clearly, it wasn't like we're not casting this actor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Overall, how do you feel the product worked? Like as a product?
The product, I was really. I mean, I was pretty impressed with the product. Um, I mean, overall, the fact that we got extras, the fact that we got a subtitled release, the fact that they had closed captioning was kind of interesting. Although I watched a closed caption so I could make sure I could catch a lot of the lines, and I did notice a couple typos. They did misuse a couple names wrong. They did have a couple of script errors, which I found interesting.
Yeah, I assume with the closed captioning that it's not someone not it's someone playing by ear basically.
Yeah, there's some really funny there's some really funny errors
Well,
in
the
there.
one that everyone's passing around is where's Garurumon?
Where's Garurumon? There was also with that cheetah e joke, with the Foxy something cheetah e.
Yeah,
Instead of cheetah e, it's G2E. Letter G to letter E.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Um, did you get the Blu-ray or the DVD?
I got the Blu-ray.
Okay, so you got the full package overall.
Yeah.
Um, where do you think the strengths and the weaknesses were overall for this release?
Hmm. I mean, I'm not good at judging, different releases overall. I do.
Well, okay. Overall, the video is, I would say, identical to the Japanese, minus the
Yeah.
handful of changes made for our version.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, the audio, the 5.1 track's fine. It's roughly the equal of the Japanese track and the Japanese release. The Japanese audio being 2.0 is getting some people into a huff. I don't disagree, but Try was never really that directional in the first place.
Yeah, I will
So,
say this with some of the subtitles, with the adding the text on, they could have utilized that a little bit more.
yeah, that. What's weird is they did do a sign track, but it's very
They
minimal
didn't,
what's there.
yeah, they didn't use it a whole lot.
It was
Like there's some
Sorry, go ahead.
there's a few spots that I feel like they could have used that a little more often.
Yeah, I would like to see it used for the songs.
Yeah, that would have been nice. With the closed captioning track, it's just man singing in
Yes.
Japanese.
No, yes, that's the best part. Is not only is it man singing in Japanese, when they go to the end credits, it's just singing in Japanese.
Oh,
Uh, in fact, I think I put that in my review because I just found it so hilarious. Um,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, and I feel like the primary change I would like to see, and this may not be something Shout can even do, but can we get some more work done on the Toei subs?
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
um, eh, there's a handful of stuff that's just wrong, but the main issue is inconsistencies. Like, they use honorifics for characters,
Mm-hmm.
or they use translated terms of what things mean, which is fine. But then we're back to, and it was the same thing that people were complaining about when Try first came out, was we can all hear what Hikari's calling Taichi.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to have Oni-chan listed, put Big Brother or something. Don't just change it to Taichi because we can all hear it.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know what's up with the names. Like,
Yeah.
like I can understand using Biomon instead of Piomon. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
But they use Japanese names for everyone, and then they keep
Yeah,
throwing up Gatomon.
they give their Gatomon. Did they use? I didn't watch it. I watched it dubbed. When I watched it again, I forgot if they did Omegamon or Omnimon in the
The
subtitle track.
subtitles, as I recall, was Omegamon.
Okay.
Yes,
So
but
another inconsistency there, and it's compounded when you get to movie 4 and the subtitle track is way all over the place.
yeah, but that's also kind of been that company's tradition.
Yeah,
I mean to be fair, we're a long way from the old digi rips with the horrible subtitles where they clearly just hit replace all on stuff.
yeah, yeah.
I mean those old O2 and Tamer subtitles, those were incomprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
These are by and large good enough. I would just like to
You
see them be better.
Yeah, you can use them. It's just you can there's places that are clearly you can have improvements for. I still don't understand why they called it Phoenix Mon.
Uh,
Phoenix Mon, they even call Hoomon even gets referred to as Hoomon in the dub of Tamers.
well, as a brand, they've always been very inconsistent with what to do. Like it was years until I figured out what the hell happened with the back of that one Japanese DVD box. The back of the original DVD box for Adventure has
Mm-hmm.
an episode list, and the episode list is incomprehensible. It's in English, but the episode titles don't match translated Japanese or our English titles. Years and years later, I finally figured out what the hell was going on. Somehow they were like the Portuguese or the Brazilian titles translated into English, but like translated into English like machine translated into English.
Okay.
Um, so like I'm happy we're not at that level. These are comprehensible. I'd even say they're like 85%, 90%. I would just like them to be all the way because they're so close. Is the thing that's probably the most annoying.
Yeah, yeah. And you can it's like there's time to make these corrections. It's not like I mean, if they're going to be, when they air them initially, okay, there may be a couple things you could have improved on, but it's like make it better
The
for the
the
DVD release.
the only real change they made was they changed how they spelled Joe and Koshiro.
Mm-hmm.
They changed Joe to lately they've really liked using the English spelling, which is fine.
Yeah, they do.
But
Except, yeah.
and then they've gotten very consistent with removing the U that used to always be used for Koshiro, and it just makes it look weird to me.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, they used to be relatively consistent. They would use the KOUSHIRO.
Yeah.
Now they've gotten rid of the U, which, it's fine, but it has a flourish with it that works.
Right.
And that was the only other change was they got rid of the markers to show that Koshiro was speaking French. They just made the text italicized, but the problem is italicized text is also used for the person who's off screen on a phone call.
Right.
So
Right.
that kind of creates an issue. But sometimes you want to nitpick them because they're so damn close.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing where the dub makes that it's a little easier to understand that scene in the dub.
Yeah.
Like it's very clear he's speaking French in the dub.
Yeah. The extras, as we said, were good. The one is kind of junky though. It's nice to see it, but the one extra is kind of junky.
Oh yeah, the other one, the premiere video. Yeah, it's sort of. I feel like I saw that after the theatrical release. Anyway. I think they put that on YouTube or something.
I think they did like a 30-second. My issue is the video appears to be way overproduced.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of scenes where someone's just standing there and they notice the camera and then they start moving for the camera and it's like every single one of those looks like they set up the shot. And not only that, it would have
been nice to have.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it would have been nice to have some sort of stop and do a quick 5-second interview, quick clip of somebody commenting on the party or whatever.
Well, the other issue
is and identifying who some of these people are.
Well, the other issue is when they do those, camera shots. Have you noticed it's the same people over and over again?
Yeah. And some of them are in masks.
Yeah, but it's like they keep. Those scenes felt like. Oddly, though, none of the Fathom stuff showed up at all, which isn't really that much of a surprise.
Yeah.
Because extras for Fathom material often never show up again.
Right.
The interviews, even you mentioned the interviews, that was a great extra.
Yeah, the interviews were really good. It was really nice hearing some of the movie 3 recording.
Yeah. And they give us episode numbers even.
Yeah, they said. Yeah, that's right. They did. Someone said. I think Laura said episode 10.
Yeah.
They were like, "We're dubbing episode 10 right now." I'm like, no, you're dubbing movie 3.
Or
I guess that's probably how they produced it.
Or I don't remember who it was, but goes, yes, we finished dubbing everything that they have at the moment, but we may be doing more soon. It's like they're giving us all this information when generically they haven't told us anything.
Right.
So we've gotten more information from this extra than the companies are even willing to admit exists.
Yeah, it's like, did someone tell them that there are more than 3 movies? Like, I'm doing a panel with a couple of them in July, or
I'm sure they know, but the thing is they may not be, because they're dubbing it in episodic form. They may not know which film they're on.
That's true.
Because especially when a lot of times anime films are shorter, they may think that maybe only the first 2 episodes are part 1.
Yeah.
So they may think that they've done 6, or some of them may think they've done 6.
Well, I'm guessing that they dubbed the first movie in a block for the theatrical release, and then they came in later and did movies 2 and 3. Because that's why I think that's the only reason why they would have the extra would focus on them dubbing stuff for movies 2 and 3 instead of dubbing stuff for movie 1. I got a little emotional hearing Patamon doing one of those movie 3 scenes.
Yeah, it's a good extra. And that is the type of thing that where like a lot of people don't understand why I was going, yay, Shout has it. When they first got announced, we would not have that extra without them.
Oh yeah.
We know because of actors commenting on Twitter. That was the Shout producer Brian Ward going out with a camera and everything. That was not something that was produced generically for Try. They produced that specifically.
Yeah.
Have you looked at the digital copy, by the way?
I haven't gotten a chance to. They have their own domain for that. It looks like.
Yeah, I think they make it so that redemption becomes a bit easier, especially since they're not using it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm still kind of shocked that we got a DRM free copy.
Is it? Oh, it's DRM free, really?
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, with different bit rate and resolution stuff you can choose from.
Okay.
English only. I'm guessing that there's some legal stuff with Try streaming.
That wouldn't surprise me. So English only. Do you know if it includes the sign track? Have you had a chance to look through it?
They did the caption track. I've actually made a sign track, and I need to remember to post it later because I literally just reverse engineered the track, and you can literally just save it as an SRT and it will work.
Oh, okay, that's
So
fine.
I need to
'Cause
remember to do that.
there are places where you need that sign track.
Uh,
Not many. They cover a couple of the spots, but that was one thing I really missed in the theaters was some of those shots
I'm
that
not sure you do need the sign track, to be honest. Because in the dub, anytime something happens, they comment on it happening.
if it's really important they do, but there are some that are less important, like when in the start of episode 3 when they're scrolling through like the two chan screens and you just see blocks of random Japanese. It would be nice to have a little bit there, although I don't think those were actually
No,
on
those weren't
now
there.
that I think about
Yeah.
it. I think that was one of the ones I wish was on the soundtrack, just a quick shot of
Yeah.
some sort of context
Oh,
for that.
I don't disagree, but I also think translating that type of stuff tends to make the screen be a mess.
Yeah, I'm not asking for the
No.
whole thing, just
Now, most importantly,
a quick in parentheses people complaining about Digimon.
yeah, one of the because the digital copy gives you the different bit rates and everything. One of them is 144p. Well, because it does it variable if you stream it, and you get to choose the stream you want when downloading.
Oh, okay.
And because I had nothing better to do at the time, I went over all the different versions. Um, yeah, so really the only improvements I can really think of would be do the 5.1 audio if you can. It doesn't really matter for Tribe, but it exists.
Yeah, I was occasionally. I mean, I was occasionally. I don't have a surround sound or anything. I was switching back and forth between the English and Japanese on my TV, and I could barely notice.
Yeah. We'd like to see some improvements on the subtitle track.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly they changed how they spelled Joe and Koshiro. They can fix a few things. The extras are good. I still have my suggestions of what I would like to see. Clean openings and endings. It's the only real extra the Japanese release had in the first place.
Is there? I mean, with the movies, is there an opening for? Is there really technically an opening for Try? If we're dealing with movies,
Not really, but it'd be nice to.
those
But it'd be nice to get.
That Crunchyroll opening. The ending for sure.
Yeah, but it'd be
Because
nice.
movie 1 is the one that has an actual ending animation.
They all do, don't they?
They have screenshots that they pan across.
Yeah, but but that's an opening in its own style, or an ending in its own style. The other thing is we'll never get it, but come on, subtitle the audio drama.
Which audio drama?
The beach one.
Oh yes, yeah.
Look,
I would love to
it's
see that.
it's very simple how to do that. Assuming that's even up for licensing, and it probably isn't. Here is what would just be done. You take the audio, just facial screen caps of each character, and then subtitle, and that's it. There's been a handful of anime releases in the USA that actually have done that, and it worked reasonably well. And I want that. We're never gonna get that, but I want it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard the synopsis and some of the individual lines, and man,
Yeah,
it sounds hilarious.
it would be nice for us to get it. Realistically, we won't.
Yeah.
Um, so if you had to give it a grade, what would you grade this release?
Well, when I graded it I did do a system restore post when I saw it in theaters, and I did give it an A minus. I mean that I wouldn't change that very much from the for the package we received. Sorry, my cat just jumped on my lap. But yeah, so I mean, I gave it an A minus, and I would kind of stand by that. I mean, the dub itself is really good. It does have a couple of issues, like it does that weird thing about not acknowledging location names is just boggles my
Well,
mind.
I think the reason they did it was some vague attempt to not stick solely to the dub lines when more so than prior shows, this one really does quote unquote take place in Japan. But
I don't think other than actual screenshots, I don't think anywhere in the audio does it acknowledge that they're in
well,
Japan.
I mean in the I mean in the sense of them hanging around in the real world more so than Adventure and O2 sort of did, but they sort of got away with it because they were kind
Hmm.
of mostly going from place to place, going to the school. I think here is more
Yeah,
the idea was they just didn't
yeah.
want to contradict the dub, but they also didn't want to continue on with it too much since they're aiming a bit older in this case in the U.S.
Yeah.
release.
Even so, you can still call it Odaiba.
You might confuse a scared person.
Well, everyone's talking about, yeah, let's hang out at the waterfront shopping district.
Let us hang out at local mall.
International airport, even though it wasn't
That that
international
that
at the
was
time.
that was the one that I liked the most, to be honest. International airport. Uh,
Which one? That the one that Mimi is not arriving in.
yes, that was the main flaw with that rewrite.
Hmm.
Was that yes, you have a friend flying to an international airport, and
The other,
she's specifically coming to visit you,
yeah, the
but
other
she's going to
international
yeah,
airport. I
yes.
mean, I mean, it's conceivable now. I think Hanada's international now, but
Oh, I know.
it's
I just find it funny because yes, I have a friend coming from somewhere else. She's not landing at our international airport. It's international airport at the next town over.
it's international airport number two.
Or the other side of the international airport for all we know.
Actually, that would have been the potentially the cover, because there was a shot where it like clearly says Terminal 2 or Terminal 1 or something. Like you could potentially conceive that it's a different terminal at
Is
that
it
same airport.
is it possible the translations they received did not make it clear and that's why the dub did it, that they thought it was the same airport?
That might be possible. I don't think it specifically says Narita anywhere for the airport that Mimi arrived in.
See, plotting now, I kind of wonder that because you have airport as two different plot details happening at the same time. But
Yeah.
huh, I actually kind of wonder about that now.
Yeah, everyone's going over to the airport where there's this massive battle going on. Meanwhile, Mimi is arriving at the airport.
That's great. Um, yeah, it's a good release. Oddly, does it seem odd that they don't have the number one anywhere on the packaging?
That I was One thing I noticed about the UK release is it
They
does
have the
have the
one.
number one. I
Yeah.
was I was going to comment on that with the UK release. I really appreciate that because I have a small child and he really likes to pull DVDs off of the shelves, and when they don't have numbers on them,
Well, I don't know. It's always been a bit of an issue with anime releases is a lot of stores don't like carrying volumes. So I wonder if they left that off there because they are getting distribution in Walmart, Target, Best Buy.
yeah, yeah, I saw them. I saw it at Target
Yeah.
on Sunday, and
Yeah.
I suppose when you have once movie 3 comes out and that's on the shelves at Target, you don't want someone going, "Oh, it's movie 3.
Yeah,
I'm not going to buy it because I don't have movies 1 and 2.
yeah. So,
That sort of makes sense.
yeah, because
I'm
you
just I'm
go ahead.
just thinking back. I'm just looking at my shelf where all of my
Oh no,
Slayers DVDs are on the floor right now, and good luck trying to order different Slayer seasons if you're not familiar with Slayers.
yeah. In the old days of VHS and DVD, do you know why the companies did that actually? It
Um,
actually was that stores would not, they wouldn't stock a bunch of volumes,
hmm
but they would stock a bunch of different movies from the same brand.
yeah.
So that's why you would have the tapes and the volume DVDs having actual titles,
hmm
because they would sell them
I've got a
as,
few of those. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I still have a stack of them somewhere. Um, the nice thing about Slayers was they did finally start doing nice clean boxes of them, Funimation, when they got the show.
Yeah. I think I have the old set, but it's still. But yeah, I mean, it's still a nice box, and
Yeah, yeah, it's nice to get the volume numbers. I'm it would have been nice, but I'm less worried about it if it gets more distribution means more stuff for us.
yeah, if it needs more people buy them. And if someone
Exactly.
accidentally buys movie 3 and watches that one before they see movies 1 and 2,
Then
well, I guess
then
they'll
they're
just
gonna
have
go
to go buy movies 1 and 2.
exactly.
Movie 3 is really good anyway.
Movie 3 was real. I'm kind of partial to 2, to be honest.
I like 2. I think I like 2 more than most people as
Well,
well.
well, here's
And
the thing. Well, here's the thing. I've always been very clear why I like trying what I was hoping for trying. I've got. I mean, we're both. We're. I mean, how old are you?
I'm actually 35.
Okay, we're both among the older fans still around at this point. I just
Yeah.
don't have the time or energy to deal with the world ending every time I watch a show. As I've gotten older, I like the shows to be a bit more relaxation time, at least for me.
Yeah. I mean, it feels very different from a typical Digimon release, but I really like that. I like it also because when Try somehow the timing worked out that I finished Hunters on System Restore right when the first Try movie came out. So going from Hunters to Try is just a completely different pace, and it was very
Well,
relaxing to go
Hunters
back to
Hunters is
Try.
interesting, and Hunters is very high energy.
Yeah.
Um,
Let me see if I can pull up. I'll pull up the comment I made on System Restore going from one to the other because I think. Sorry for fiddling
no
around on
problem.
my
Well,
desk.
I think one of the thing about tries, and I think this is where, like, a lot of people were hoping that, oh, it's for adults, it's going to be mature, and I don't know. I don't really find the quote unquote ultra violence to be that mature. I think it is more mature when they do interesting, thoughtful things.
Yeah, there's a difference between mature content wise and mature
Yeah,
audience, storytelling wise.
yeah,
This the line I had was coming off the equivalent of Tagiru running full sprint between set pieces. This is an old man hobbling along on his Gata.
yeah. And I like the old man hobbling. It works.
Yeah,
It works
definitely.
shockingly well for the brand, especially since they've put the context well with characters like Taichi,
hmm
where
It's all yeah,
he
it's all
clear
very deliberate.
yeah
Yeah.
he clearly is struggling with what it means to grow up, and
hmm
that is of concern to him. Like some people are going, oh, he's scared. It's like that's not really it.
No,
It's
no,
it it's he's starting to understand and see the world for what it is, and he doesn't understand
yeah,
why
it's
he
like
doesn't see it the same way that he did before.
yeah, he's struggling to realize that it's a lot more complicated than he used to think it was.
Yes, and there's that great line in the gondola where he sees more but understands less.
Yeah.
Th- That's a great line, and
May I on that? I one of my favorite line changes where that was a very real line change from the sub to the dub was when Taichi and Agumon were at that riverfront scene and Agumon says, Taichi asks Agumon something and Agumon says, I don't know. I love that they changed that to I think you'll figure it out. That's so much more positive. I love that. That was one of my favorite changes
Well,
they made.
see, that's the other thing I forgot to touch on. This is the first time in a very long time that Digimon Animation has had a new dub director.
Yeah,
I mean, and as far as I know, it's his first time directing a show, and he did a great job. He did a great job. Like, this is not the work of someone doing it their first time.
yeah.
Uh,
It's and what's funny is a lot of the stuff we complained about with the older dubs actually worked to its advantage. Like in the original dubs, we were always complaining that they would refuse to have any silence. They were always insisting on having music or talking or noise over the thing. Now Try is so quiet. Every so often, it's nice to have a little bit of have a line or some random chatter in the background,
yes.
breaking that up. It was actually kind of really nice to have.
Well, I think that's why like you and me like movie two is stuff is not necessarily story stuff, but stuff is happening. There's interactions, and it's all very fun. And that seems to be something that seems to randomly miss when you're talking about stuff. No one discusses that. Oh yeah, this stuff's supposed to be fun.
I did a live screening of movie two. The first two or three movies all happened around conventions for some reason, and movie two, like it aired on Friday, and that Sunday I managed to get a screening in a convention viewing room. And one of the people, a couple people in the room said after the first episode of that was the best Hot Springs episode they'd ever seen.
Well,
I don't
because
know. I don't know if I'd go that far, but
I
I
wouldn't.
really liked that Hot Springs
Well,
episode.
I
That
like it
Hot
because
Springs.
it is very much just there to make us understand how the character interactions will go now that
Yeah.
there's a new character.
That Hot Springs scene accomplished a lot. It
And not only that,
introduced us to the new
and
characters.
it's full of lots of little Easter eggs too.
Yeah, it's full of a lot of Easter eggs. You introduce the new characters. There's a lot of really subtle hidden stuff going on there. Like there's a shot in movie two that I didn't quite understand the first time when Kari's there's a shot where Hikari's checking her camera, like going on. I'm like, why is that in there? And once you get into it later and you find out about Mekumon causing electrical distortions, you go back and watch that. It's like, oh, that's what's happening.
Or Mimi singing for the
Or
distraction.
Mimi singing "I Wish" again.
Yes.
I can't wait to see how they change what they do with that in the dub.
Hey Digimon, hey Digimon.
Or I'm just gonna sing a song to wake you up.
But yeah, or bringing up movie two.
Move.
That they bring up when she brings up that she's out from the boonies.
Oh yeah.
And they clearly
the
are
place where there's no the place where there's no internet.
yeah. I mean that's a nice little wink without them going, yes, movie two counts. Everything from movie two. That's just a nice little way to wink and to move on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you can kind of tell movie two
oh
counts.
well,
because
of course it does.
Megaphone,
But the problem is, and it's one of those things that seems to come up more and more is when someone goes, movie three probably does not count. Then someone else
right.
goes, well, then how do you know movie two counts? Maybe they got Omegamon a different way. It's like, that's not really. It's more and more we're getting strange circular arguments because people want to prove A. They sit there and go, well, then Z doesn't count. That's not the way it works.
They've done they did a pretty good job dancing around the potential whether movie three is canon or not. I mean, I don't want them to say outright it's not.
Well, but at some point though, it becomes almost hilarious them not the lengths they go to not say anything about it.
Yeah.
Like at some point, you could literally just go, "Remember that time we went to America and then went there again a few months later?" Or
Have they
when
figured out have we worked out where in the timeline movie three was supposed to happen? Was that right after?
that's basically when it has to happen.
Yeah.
But the problem is even then, I'm sorry, they have a character who was there go back to America and act like they're at America the first time.
One potential thing I could, everyone's looking at the reaction to Seraphimon in movie four to gauge whether movie three was canon or not. One thing I could say to potentially ruin that argument is I believe movie three's, they said a mysterious man said that Digimon don't get reborn if they die in the real world. Isn't that what happened with Kurubimon?
Well, see, that's where it starts getting iffy. Is that
Yeah.
we're also dealing with Digimon who are unique and special generically.
Right. Right.
Uh,
It's like you can go a
it's
lot of
it's
different
yeah,
places
it's
with
sort
that.
of it's sort of like everyone goes and talks about you know, who do you think the higher levels are for Michael's Digimon? It's like, as far as
Right.
we know,
What?
unless you have an actual special thing,
Hmm.
everything tops out at champion/adult.
Right.
As far as we can tell in the rules as Adventure has set them, unless there is a special reason, that's where Digimon top out.
Yeah, if Michael's Betamon can go ultimate, I feel like that needs to be explained
Yeah.
why.
And we even generally do see this when we see other partners from around the world. I don't think we see any of them go past champion/adult, do we?
No, I not that I can think of,
Yeah.
but I haven't watched
Yeah.
those episodes
I mean,
in
we don't even see
a while.
it. We don't even see it happen to the O2 kids.
Right.
The
Yeah, they stay at adult until they Jogress.
Yeah, I mean, and even that, we don't have any proof the Digimon themselves can go higher.
Mm-hmm.
The only time we see any of them actually have an evolution is because they're given power from Digimon who can.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
But I mean, as far as movie three being canon or not, or movie two being canon or not, for those who say that, there is that weird obsession over what counts and what doesn't, because I think we need. Let's just step back. Like, if you like movie three, it doesn't matter
well, see,
whether it's canon or
well,
not.
I think that's where the flaw comes in. It's like, for example, I do not like movie three. I've always been very upfront
I
about that.
I totally dislike movie three. Yeah.
Me liking it or disliking it does not affect how I think about it when it counts. And also, it's not me making a judgment on someone else. So, for example,
Mm-hmm.
I do not like movie 3.
Mm-hmm.
Based on what we know of the franchise, movie 3 does not count.
Yeah.
If someone else likes movie 3 or wishes to go to and wants to go, in my view, I'm counting it. That's fine. But you need to understand that generically, it doesn't.
Yeah. Well,
Or at the very least, it counts so little that it does not matter.
yeah. And here another example I would give. A more positive example. I like the Frontier movie. That is definitely not canon. That totally does not fit
Or
anywhere.
or movie 4 really is not very good. I mean, that is not a quality film, but it counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I like it for what it is, in sort of a casual, in
movie.
sort of a casual. These kids are just not really. They really are just like, oh, we have to do this again. Good
Okay,
grief.
well, here's the way to put it. Movie 4 has parts of it that are very exciting and fun to watch. But
Yeah.
as a production, it is a very cheap attempt to do movie 2 part 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I can. Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah.
I forgot what grade I gave movie. I forgot what grade I gave movie for, but it's such a throwaway.
I'm pretty sure I could go through all of them with only the most minor thought and give them numbers. Movie 1, I'd say 7 or 8. Movie 2's
Mm-hmm.
9. Movie 3 is maybe a 4, and this is with 5 being an actual average, not whatever weird grade
Yeah.
people always use.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. I gave that a B, which is pretty solid for the movies compared, because
Movie
the movies are, yeah.
Movie
Go on.
4, I'd say a 6 or 7. And to jump to the other ones, movie 5 is probably 7. Movie 6 is probably an 8 or a 9. The Frontier movie, I'd probably say somewhere between 7 and 9 based on my mood. The Savers movie, that one's so terrible I don't even remember it. Like that.
The Tamers movie. It sort of has the same problem as movie 4. There's a lot of fun spots with it, but the plot just doesn't makes just.
See, and movie 6 makes perfect sense until the audio drama, which then you have people arguing which one
Yeah.
counts.
Right.
Movie 6 is
Yeah.
fine, minus 1 or 2 production issues, which even everyone goes, oops, that was a production issue that if we had noticed, we would have dealt with. Which, like, it was, what was it? Beelzebumon's eyes, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, in that case, both of them count as much as the other. Pick whichever ending you like. Because they're both as valid, because
Sure.
nothing has gone on past that.
Yeah.
And realistically, nothing ever will.
Right. Someone asked me at my panel Fridays, like, do you see them doing a Tamers? Like, would you like to see a Tamers continuation? And I'm like, I really don't.
Well,
like, I kind of like it's sort of its own space. Like, Tamers happened, it started, it ended, and just sort of like, let's just leave it at that. I'm okay with stopping there.
Well, here's what I've always put with Tamers and people asking that type of one. Generically, I don't think anyone really wants a Tamer sequel. I think they want to see more of the characters.
Yeah.
I think that is a fair difference to make. I don't think anyone really wants Tamers 02. They only want Tamers 02 because it's the promise of seeing the characters again.
People want to see Takato and Ruki and Guilmon again.
And the thing is I don't think in the context of what it could be, it would ever be what people want. So here's the thing.
Someone at the panel, someone I was explaining why I wouldn't count on it. Somebody asked, like, is Konaka still working? I'm like, it doesn't matter. He's not going to do it.
Yeah. It's not only that, even when he gets the chance to go back to stuff, it's not like he ever gives people the answers they want. Go watch Big O2, which was made quite a bit after Big O1, and it was made to answer questions, and he didn't answer shit. And I believe, and I think it ends.
I didn't know that existed, actually.
And I may be wrong. I think it ends on the same cliffhanger as the first one. And people for years went, well, that's because he thought he was going to get more seasons. And it's like, we know that there was potentially a deal to do more, and he's been asked, and he goes, no, that's just how I wanted to end it.
Yeah, maybe that's how he wanted to end it originally.
But the problem is I think people are looking for. I'm trying to think of a show that has the kind of ending people want a happy ending that they were never going to get from the show itself.
Right.
If you want a dramatic but sad ending that maybe ends happy, that's the audio drama. If you want a happy ending, that's movie 6.
And movie 6 it's sort of a okay, you want to see the characters again?
Yeah.
Here's the characters again.
If we got
that's what you got.
Yeah, and I use the Gundam examples a lot because there's a lot of ways to give examples easily. Are we going to get the Digimon Tamers version of Try? No. Could we get a web OVA? Maybe, just a few short fun episodes. Maybe. I don't think that's impossible. I think what's impossible is the big Tamers thing people want.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised we got a big Adventure thing. And Adventure was way more popular than Tamers.
I always believed that if Adventure came back, it would be V-Tamers to try to relaunch the franchise.
Oh.
Because here's the thing. I don't care who you were. V-Tamers was always the thing in the old days that every fan agreed on.
Mm-hmm.
No one hated V-Tamers. And V-Tamers ran... V-Tamers started in the lead up to Adventure, and it ended after Frontier, if I remember.
Frontier, because Takuya made a cameo.
Yeah. No one hated V-Tamer, and that always seemed like that because they're always trying to reinvent their franchises to make them last. That always seemed like the obvious place to go, and that's also why it shows up so damn often in April Fool's jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is the one thing that everyone sort of goes, yeah, that would work. And I think Try was the relaunch the franchise needed, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it also allows the franchise... The franchise has always had the issue of what the hell is it actually aiming at?
Yeah.
Because, so you couldn't have Cross Wars just aimed at kids. It also had to try to grab the older fans to some degree. Now, people keep going, well, why isn't APPMON just the same Digimon? Because it doesn't need to be. If you want the old stuff,
Yeah,
that's
AppMon.
oh, no,
I like that AppMon doesn't try to have that
well.
sort of nostalgia factor.
Here's the weird thing, and I think I don't know why, but I feel like it's not talked about as much. Um, Digimon Adventure tries going back to the beginning of the franchise, but everything is different in how it's done.
Right.
AppMon, they've changed stuff at to some degree a surface level, but it's effectively the same way Adventure, O2, Tamers, and Frontier was done overall.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is Digimon, and they've just changed some names for branding reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's
AppMon feels very much like a Digimon series.
yes, they've just changed the names, and but that does provide a disconnect when you're trying to find new people, because it is not a uncomplicated franchise.
Yeah.
And
I mean, with AppMon, there's none of that heavy stuff in the past that you feel like you need to know coming in. That you sometimes get that feel with say Frontier Cross Wars and Sabers to a big extent too. That you kind of feel like you need to know some of the earlier tropes and some of the ground that's been covered before.
Well,
with AppMon, you don't have that.
Well, but that was even the setup for say Sabers. To a large degree, it's like okay, who's the main Digimon in Sabers?
Yeah, it's Agumon.
And who does he evolve into? GeoGreymon, who realistically is just a slight redesign of Greymon.
Yeah.
If that show were made now, they would just call him Greymon.
Someone asked me what a Sabers remake would look like, and my answer was a Sabers remake now would be Tri. Tri is the Sabers remake.
See, I'm not sure it is, if only because Sabers really spent its energy on action-y type stuff.
Yeah, but I meant as far as targeting. Like Sabers really hit hard towards towards people who grew up with the show. There's a lot of similar elements going on there, especially between, the digital world, real world conflict. Yggdrasil's involved now.
Oh no, absolutely.
That Tri feels very Sabers-y to me. As far as
I think we'll disagree on that one, just because I go back to the mood of Tri too much to think of it as something like Sabers.
The storytelling's different.
Yeah, it just skews so different to me that I can't really think of them being similar.
Mm-hmm. But also part of that is that I don't know if Sabers accomplished its goal in grabbing the older audience and telling a story that older audiences would appreciate quite as well. That particular goal. I feel like
that goal almost fell away when the series started.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if that was ever even really a goal, or if that was just sort of something the fans imagined in the episode. Because once you watch it, it's not really that different. It just it feels like a Digimon series that kind of, sort of, maybe doesn't want to be a Digimon series.
A little bit, yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a bad thing when you're trying to come back from a hiatus.
Yeah. That's it's sort of a time to go back to the well.
Yes, and Tri does that. Tri sort of tricks you into thinking it's doing that, because Tri goes back to the well with characters. It doesn't go back to it with mood, animation, attitude, designs.
Well, what it does with the mood is it plays with nostalgia. It's not only it plays with our nostalgia as far as emotion.
The characters' nostalgia to what the exactly.
Yes, the characters have their own sort of nostalgia that they're dwelling back on, and that plays a huge role in the story.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's interesting, because like people go, tries the weaponized nostalgia. It sort of is and it really isn't, because the setup for it is, oh look, it's your favorite characters back again, while doing something the franchise hasn't done before. And that's interesting, because it means when someone goes, what is going to happen next with the franchise? I don't know. Like, it's easy to look at, say, Cross Wars. Cross Wars is basically Digimon, and they just try to not deal with they deal with evolution in a different way.
Yeah, the Hunters, the crossover at the end of Young Hunters, that's weaponized nostalgia.
Yes. I mean, yeah, that's weaponized nostalgia to the extent of it not really making sense when you really think about it.
It doesn't make any sense at all, and there's not a whole lot of depth with it. Like
No,
the
and
characters
no,
show
but
up again and they have like one line and you get to see their Digimon do cool
well,
stuff, but that's really all you have.
yeah, but in many cases, do you know why some of those characters only had one lines?
Probably all they could get with the
No, the
all the time they
actors
could
were
give
there.
actors.
No, in many cases, it was the actors were there. Like, why is Chalkmon the only one who talks?
Well, yeah, with the non leaders, yeah, because yeah, Chakmon was
Is
somebody,
Iru?
I forgot.
Iru,
What
I
was
think.
it? Yes,
Yeah.
somebody. Yeah, Chakmon was Iru. Joe and
Yeah.
Gomamon show up because Gomamon's already back for Takuya, and Joe is Damemon, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's why those
Yeah,
extra
that
characters
and
showed up.
but the best part about those was those were clearly unplanned because they all have very basic animation. Like Joe, as far as I recall, we don't even see Joe. We see a silhouette of Joe.
Joe was in silhouette, and Tomo and Chakmon was, yeah, you just sort of see his head
Yes.
while they're spinning
Yeah,
around
I mean,
making Susanoo.
but to be fair, that's also how you should do that type of thing. They make their plans based on who they need to make it work, and then oh, actor X did character Y. Let's throw something in.
Yeah, I can imagine that when they've got when they got Takeuchi on board for Takuya, and they look, it's like we've got Joe, we've got Gomamon.
Why? Yeah,
Let's
why?
do something with this.
Exactly, and that's great. Like some people were like, I don't understand why they only have one or two lines and they're in silhouette, because there was never any plan to have them show up there in the first place. That's why I'm happy they did it at all.
Yeah, but I was referring more to the leaders themselves. It's
Oh,
like they didn't get a whole lot either. The actual
Okay,
characters.
the best thing about that was that because the animation clearly would not hold up compared to the Hunter's animation, they just draw them doing the evolutions in the normal show animation with characters standing around talking about it.
And with characters standing around watching them with
No,
their new transformations.
the single best moment of that was Tentomon.
Yeah.
Tentomon shows up, explains something that he shouldn't know, and then he's just gone. And the character and what was it, Zenjiro, I believe.
Zenshiro and Akari, yeah.
Yeah,
They're just sort of.
they actually react to him being gone. Because that's
Zenshiro and Akari are my favorite parts of that episode.
well, because also they weren't really in Hunters all that much.
No, they weren't, and they show up. They just show up all. They're sort of cameos too, in a way.
Yes. And there was the one episode where Zenjiro showed up randomly at the end demanding his own Digivice.
I never understood why Zenshiro wasn't involved with that Kendo episode in Hunters. That seemed right there for him. Hikari got an episode, Nene got an episode, Kiryu sort of got an episode. There was an episode where
it could have been actor availability. Because remember, Hunters was thrown together really quick. I mean, people always discount that. People like to go, "Oh, Adventure was 13 episodes." No, it wasn't. Adventure was always going to be how long it was. When you have Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I just saw something on Tumblr. I saw something on Tumblr today perpetuating that, and I was just frustrated.
Yeah. If you want to see what happens when something's thrown together quickly, there's really only two good examples for me to give. Hunters as a whole was thrown together. And that's part of the reason why we get a thing of the week show. Because it means you can not worry about overall plot. The only other example I can think of is the last chunk of the original Macross series. The show was supposed to end. It was doing well. They wanted to go on longer. And you can see that show fall apart in its last arc. Because they didn't stop what they were doing and extend it. They just added a second arc that just falls apart. And that's what happens when you extend something to the lengths we're talking about. And truthfully, Hunters isn't bad. It's just not what fans wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of Hunters. I mean, it's not that so much that they did Monster of the Week. It's I don't think a lot of the Monster of the Week stories are all that compelling. I don't like a lot of the guest characters, and I don't like a lot of the cast. That's my problem with Hunters. If they had gotten that down pat, I probably would have liked the
The
format a little better.
cast overall doesn't bother me. The issue is because we're getting the pseudo you can flip around order monster of the week type shows, they don't necessarily get depth that might help minus one or two of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it works in the context of what's being done, and not only that, that may have been what birthed Try. That stuff at the end of
Yeah.
Hunters.
Oh, the reaction to that? Yeah,
Yes. I mean,
yeah,
that may be why we were getting Try in the first place, because that clearly got somebody thinking.
yeah. I don't know because what's this is a really weird story that I still don't know. I still don't have an explanation for. But right around when Hunters was airing, I actually got a message from some. I think it was yeah when Hunters was airing, I got a message from somebody. It's like, hey, did you hear they're doing a series where the Adventure Kids are going to be aged up to high school?
The
And
the
I'm
problem
like,
is the problem is and I say this having been online as a fan since '99 and been running with the Will since 2006. Do you know how
mhm.
often I used to get those?
Yeah, I'm just I dismissed it at the time. I totally dismissed it at the time. I'm like, yeah, that's
But but
yeah,
but,
that you're confusing. I think my answer was he was confusing it for the PSP game that was coming out at the time.
but I mean, like, do you know how many in the last 2 years I've gotten about they have information that a
Hmm.
Tamer sequel is going to be made?
Yeah, yeah.
Or
It was so random because the person that I got that from was not a Digimon fan,
that's interesting.
and he somehow heard that
Yeah.
anyway. I was just like,
But yeah,
that's so weird.
that's why any time in a thread someone pops and goes, "My theory was correct," I always end up rolling my eyes because if you go and look at people throwing out theories,
If yeah,
you
you
never
throw out
you
enough of them, eventually
yeah
some of them's going to be right.
exactly you never get
If
just
I gave
one.
you Yeah, if I gave you a million different reasons, a million different possibilities for where the 02 kids are, I bet one of them's going to be right.
They're very clearly all dead.
I'm leaning in that direction, actually.
No, no. See, I've always gone with the concept of it. The O2 kids have been taken off the chessboard. The end. If we
Yeah,
don't get an answer to where they are by the end of try, then I will have complaints. But I will also
yep,
understand. But
yep.
people keep going. Why don't they? Why don't the adventure kids like their friends? It's like and I'm looking at
It's
I'm looking at people and I'm like, I saw you 2 weeks ago say that them not finishing the plot at the end of movie three didn't matter. This is the
mhm.
exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah, and with that, I'm sorry I opened up this can of worms as a random example to the previous conversation, but I mean with that is my only concern is not so much that they're gone. It's like they're taken off the chessboard. I totally understand that. I think we just kind of wish I had a little more mindset into what's going on with the adventure kids, what's going on in their heads in relation to that, because I think it's really important that they're not worried about them right now. I think that's really important in order to advance the current story forward. But I just wish we had a better excuse for that.
I don't disagree, but I also kind of take the path of we don't know what happens, and
Hmm.
it's hard for me to be upset when we don't know. And I'm not saying you're upset. Some people are, but we don't
Yeah.
know what's going on. I mean, for
Yep.
all we know, for all we know, the O2 kids were locked on the digital world side when everything went to crap.
Hmm.
And they can't worry about their friends because they know their friends can take care of themselves, and there's just
Which
nothing they can do about it.
that's pretty close to my ideal scenario with what's going on with that.
Yeah,
But again, it's like that's just something I kind of wish we had a little more somehow clued into a little more information on that, just so we're not wondering
possibly,
what's going on
but
with that.
it's sort of like okay, with Hunter's an example. They didn't really mention what happened to Akari until she showed up.
I was never worried about Akari. She's a tough girl. She
No,
can take
no,
care of.
no, 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 no. I agree on that. What I mean is they,
It's that we didn't get that sort of
yeah.
0-2 catch up on everybody type scene.
But I mean, they specifically set up like that. Taiki has problems even living without her, and they're best friends, and she's just gone all of a sudden. And the first mention we get of her is with her pillow appearing again, which was a great moment.
That was a great moment.
Yes.
That was
And
it was a bit maybe my here's the sort of headcanon with that is that Akari assumes that Taiki's going to need that at some point, even though it's pretty obvious that he's figured out how not to collapse on himself most of the time.
Yes. But that's the thing is we got a payoff later. Now, there is an argument to be made that we're 4 parts into 6. Maybe they should have dealt with it by now, or at least
they should have done a little more with what they did in movie 3. I like what they did in movie 3. They just could have gone just a tiny bit further with getting
movie
us to buy.
Movie 3. I'm always just amused by the shot at the end where they're all standing there, it's sort of out, and Tailmon's missing. And they don't really mention what happened to the kids. I believe there's like one line of, "Oh, they're okay," and move on. But yeah, like if they did something, it would be good, not just to give us the information, but just so we could stop hearing about it.
Yeah. It's just a matter of it's one of the bigger mysteries of Try, which is really cool and all. It's just not necessarily fair when the information that the Adventure kids that's whatever information the Adventures kids have about it is not relayed to us.
Yes, and that is probably the main issue. But it's also the issue of they don't, and you point this out, so they just don't matter in the context of the story as it is.
Mm-hmm. Which is,
that was kind of expected. I mean, that's sort of why early on I was going, and I never had a preference for them not to exist, where early on I'm like, they're seemingly going out of their way to not confirm that any of this crap exists. It doesn't mean it doesn't, but it would not be out of line with how franchises are handled in Japan.
But that said, the way, that is absolutely true. Yeah. That said, the way they started movie 1 like that was brilliant.
Yes,
that was fantastic.
Because here's the other reason it was brilliant. Up to seeing that, we still did not know if 02 counted or not. Like, and we're all still going, why doesn't it count? Does it count? I don't know. And people are going, Mimi's shoes have a star on them. It has to count. And, and everyone's just like...
It's like we were just looking at really, really, really subtle stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I would even say that Takeru and Hikari having the established Odaiba Middle School uniforms was also a thing.
Yeah, it was.
Yamato was still having his band and that sort of stuff.
But that could also just be using established elements of those characters in that universe. It's sort of like Superman Returns is very clearly set up as being Superman 3 and ignoring Superman 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And I don't... And I know a lot of people don't like that we saw them that way, but that was the best way to tell us what was going on. And the truth is we still don't know what the fuck's going on with that scene. We don't know if they're dead. We don't know if they're alive. We don't know if APPMON had anything to do with that at all.
Right. We don't know what's going on with the D3. It's really cool.
Yeah,
except for us not knowing
yes,
what the Adventure Kids
but that's
if we had that, I would love all of it. And honestly, I'll say this. That if we get to the end and there isn't a good explanation for
then yes, that's a real problem.
It's a real problem, but if everything else ties together really nicely,
I'll be happy enough.
Okay, I will accept this flaw. I will acknowledge it as a flaw, and it's definitely a serious flaw, but it's like I will accept that for the sake of all of the other things that are going on. Because
thus far, minus that maybe they're playing a few too many mind games with us, I've been very happy with Try. They're enjoying the mind games a little too much, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like we are at the end of part 4, and I'm not 100% sure if we actually fucking know anything. What do we factually know about what's going on? I'm not sure we can be sure of anything, because even Hackmon talking to Daigo, we don't know if he's being honest. We don't know if we can trust him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
or like we haven't actually seen what APPMON's doing. We know what the companies involved want us to think APPMON's doing, but it's like, what was the only thing we saw him do was try to kill Meikumon and fight against Yesmon. And here's the thing:
we don't know if that who's good or bad on that.
Yeah,
battle.
and we don't even technically know if that's Hackmon or not.
That's true. That's
I mean, here's the thing: Try has been very happy, both in episode and in promotion, to fuck with us. So to a degree, I'm not sure if I want to trust anything, because you have Hackmon and you have Jesmon, but we've been given no actual connection between them. Because here's the thing: Hackmon showed up to try to save Meikumon and Meiko. So what the fuck's going on? Because that doesn't fit what we've been told.
Hackmon bailed pretty quickly on that too.
But that's what I mean. It's like, isn't he supposed to be on the kid's side based on what he's told us?
Right.
But
I mean, that's the thing, is we really don't know where homeostasis plays in this, and since as far as it would be really cool. I want to see homeostasis not necessarily be an ally.
Okay, wait. Do we even really know if Hackmon works with homeostasis? We're kind of just taking Hackmon's word at it.
Yeah.
Because I don't believe homeostasis mentioned anything about him.
No.
Yeah. Or Hackmon doesn't really tell us what the fuck happened to Jedi.
That's a lot of people are making assumptions based on what he said, but even then it's like, it's sort of, is he, he's not being Jedi right now. That's all we know.
But the wording could either be, okay, he's evil, he's under some sort of evil control, he's been turned, he's dead, he's not available, he's busy. It could be any number of things, and at the moment we don't have proof that any of them are fake or true.
Jedi just being busy would be so Jedi.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing, is
like,
that is
he just shows up at the end of movie 6. It's like, I was busy deleting some files on some random server.
Yeah, and he has exactly that is in line with the way that character acts for two different shows. It's one of those things where we're all kind of taking things at face value for something where every time anything's been taken at face value, they fucked with us. At the
end of movie 3, when Jedi showed up, my thought was like, he might not actually be corrupted. He might be working for the
what I was wondering,
guys. But it's like, sure.
Well, no. See, at that point, I wasn't even sure if he was working for the bad guys.
Right, exactly.
I mean, yes. At this point, we have a slightly better idea what's going on.
It's safe to say Mysterious Man is an antagonist.
Yes, but at the point of the end of movie 3, it could have easily been, there's something going on that we're not aware of, and Jedi had to manipulate them to do something that they maybe weren't willing to do, and there was no choice in the matter.
I postulated several times before that after between movie 3 and 4, that speculated that there was a possibility that Maki was in the digital world to find the O2 kids. Because on her computer in the first one, only time they really get talked about is in reference to her.
They've sort of referenced it since, though, because when Ken's not there, Hikari and Taku sort of referenced that they're going to try to get in touch with other people.
That's true. That happened, but
yeah,
most of the time she's involved. Like when we see that screen, or when Yamato's asking her for information.
Yeah, but it's very interesting, because we know these solid things we've been told, which now people in the chat room are trying to throw at us. It's like,
I actually had to click away from the chat room because there was stuff that I'm just interested in fast. It's like,
I should be clear. We're not talking about stuff like we know there are infected Digimon or that the gates were closed. We're talking about specific parts of the ongoing plot of Tri.
Yeah,
And yeah, those things
mystery.
are related to them. But I mean, the information Tri has generally given us has been information that we can't trust or take as fact.
After movie 4, I went through movie 3 again and fact checked Maki. It was the results were pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Despite all of her, she's totally manipulative, but a lot of the statements she said it's really hard to believe they're false. It's like there was a lot of stuff in there. It's like, yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. It's kind of interesting.
Now you tell me, what do you think about them being the OO kids?
I like the twist. I was not as on board with the idea as others were.
I'm generally
generally
not on board with the idea for one reason. That idea specifically just feels kind of lazy, because it was clearly an idea that was never really meant to mean anything, minus them winking at the circular logic of how this kind of story works.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of ties. It does nicely to explain some of the lines that Daigo and Maki have. It sort of adds a new context to that.
It does.
So I don't mind.
It's not that I mind it. It's that it feels like sort of a cheat that a good chunk of the plot here is based on a story we never saw.
I think we got the important details from the flashback.
That was done really well, and I'm still very amused at how happy Maki's actress was that she didn't have to do that. Because in the interview, she brings up that she was told that she was going to have to do young Maki voice for that, and later they changed their mind and decided to do it like a silent film.
Oh.
And she was very pleased because she apparently had very big concerns about how well she'd be able to do that.
I don't think. Yeah, in the dub she wouldn't have had that much of a problem with it if she's also doing Biyomon.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the fact that so many people were sort of speculating that possibility, and they were also kind of throwing in wouldn't it be cool if they threw the Holy Beasts in with the novels, and it ended up being right. I'm like, wow.
Well, to be fair though, and we're many years removed from this, so I doubt anyone will remember. Most people won't remember this, other than maybe you. In the old days, everyone was going to be the prequel kids.
Oh yeah, the Frontier kids are the prequel kids.
The Frontier kids were maybe the Tamers kids were, maybe the O2 kids would travel back in time, and it would be them because there were 5 of them.
There's a series out now called Young Hunters Who Leapt Through Time. Maybe that's what that.
Yep,
means.
but that's what I mean. It's like people are like, "Oh, I was right. They were the kids from. They were a fictional prequel group." It's like that's been every single group since season 1.
That is true. Yeah.
And
along with several fanfics.
Yes, and the one thing that's nice about it happening is we don't have to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, that book is closed now. We know who they are, and we have names for 2 of them.
The book's closed. We don't have to hear about it, and we have visuals of the other 3.
Yes.
Yeah, and of course, none of them really look like the 5 silhouettes of the 5 kids they used.
No, well, we sort of expected that.
No.
As well.
Oh, I know, but yeah. I think we've talked enough about Tri. How about we take some questions, and then I will let you go.
Sure.
Okay, so you guys, they're still going to be behind us. We will answer questions from you guys while you have them, and then AR is going to run off back to his life.
By the time we're done with this, it's going to be baby's bedtime, so I'm not that worried.
Okay, fair enough.
My wife is in the bedroom doing a very good job keeping him quiet.
I've taken care of enough young cousins over the years to know just how hard that is.
Mm.
So I'm pretty sure she must be a saint.
Yeah.
They went to Ken's home. Where are the parents? They're just not home. I mean, I don't think you. Do they really need to explain where Ken's parents are?
No, they don't. It's again one of those questions that I'm sort of. I honestly, one thing that I am absolutely convinced of is that there is bureaucratic interference explaining why they're not in school or anything. Like there's been some sort of alibi given for why they're not around. for everybody around the Adventure kids. That has to be happening.
It's possible. Um, but I don't think they need to explain where Ken's parents are. I mean, it's just
not in that particular scene. No.
I think the one thing that's thrown people off a lot in Tri, because while Tri's playing with more sort of mature storytelling type things, I think what's throwing people off is they're still for lack of a better phrase, they're kind of expecting to be spoon-fed information, like most of the Digimon shows have done in the past.
Right.
And they're very clear that they're not interested in telling us this stuff. And Nico's asking, licensing Expo in a few hours, I guess, what to expect or want. We've kind of went over that, but I would like to start seeing something for APPMON in the US.
Yeah, I was disappointed that there wasn't any good APPMON at the convention. I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I picked up the new media with the Haru.
Oh yeah, I saw you post that.
I'm really disappointed that the APPMON and the Tri pictures were back to back on the same page.
Oh no!
I know.
I was gonna tweet you that. I was actually gonna tweet that question to you, but like, they wouldn't do that.
They did.
Damn.
Yeah.
Especially since, is it just me or is that the nice? And I believe I said this to May in the last episode. Is it just me or is that the nicest piece of APPMON art that we have?
Yeah, I really like that one.
Like
Some of the other APPMON arts I've been kind of underwhelmed by, but no, I really like.
It's really just drawn perfectly.
And I knew, because I don't usually import a bunch of stuff, but I knew that I know that there's a Japanese bookstore, Kinokuniya, that has a stand at ASEN that year. So when I'm like really hoping that there would be some sort of Digimon or APPMON art in this issues of Animedia. When I saw that, it was just, yes, I will own this.
But yeah, if I had one hope from licensing expos, that we see not even if it's not licensed, I would like to see a different English logo for APPMON, because that logo is fucking horrible.
I've already forgotten what it looks like, and if it's that bad, you don't need to show me.
It's literally where
I remember. I listened to last week's. I remember the Fusion Battles one, and that was.
Yeah. It's basically the same, where they take the Japanese logo and they just rewrite it in English, but they're clearly trying to match the pattern. And it just doesn't work. Like, the P's don't match. You have weird swooshes on things.
Although the Tri one kind of ended up carrying over.
But that also works because it's very clean. And
yeah, it's fine.
Yes, but that also because there's very little to do. The APPMON one just does not work because there's so many little flourishes that have to do with where the Japanese character's text goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to start hearing something about APPMON, because they have to be doing something with it. I mean, at some point, if you don't do something with it, then just license it out to an anime company. The end. Like,
when was Hunter's licensed in relative to when it aired?
Hunters was streaming episode by episode.
Okay.
And that was
Cross Wars came late though.
Cross Wars came while Hunters was airing. I assume because at that point they sort of went, maybe this isn't going to get licensed. Maybe we should try it like this. And Hunters and Cross is still there.
Yeah. See, it took a few years for Fusion to get picked up.
Yeah, but like here's what they really should do, and I'm not saying that I'm right, but here's what I think they should do. Cross license it, like many companies are, to both Crunchyroll and Funimation. Have it going up on Crunchyroll episode by episode. Have Funimation dub it, and see if you can get a TV deal. If not, Funimation either streams it themselves or maybe try selling it to Netflix, and you see if you can get a few products out of it.
Yep.
Go ahead.
It's like at ASEN, like you saw, there was still some Fusion merchandise available. That sort of boggled my mind.
But not only that, it was really fucking nice stuff too.
Yeah, it was a really nice Angie plush, and I bought a Cutemon a couple years ago. But yeah, it's like they had an Angie and a Mikey and a Shoutmon and a Cutemon, and they look really good.
Yeah, but like
I guess it's easy to forget that with all this Tri stuff coming on, that Fusion was only finished airing 2 years ago.
yeah, we kind of got caught up in the whirlwind of, oh shit, we're getting new stuff, we're getting new stuff, we're getting new stuff. Oh look, there's that thing. We're getting new stuff.
Hmm.
Let's see. Someone's asking if in the future we'll have 2 or 3 guests. Maybe. It's more the issue of trying to find scheduling. The schedule can be complicated enough with just one person,
Hmm.
but we'll try. And I'm sure we'll grab AR back again in the future.
I, yeah, if the schedule works out, I'd be happy
Yeah.
to.
The next question is, what are we expecting to be the biggest announcement at this year's DigiFest? Merchandise, games, anime, etc. I think the one thing that many people haven't understood is this is not the DigiFest of the first 2 years anymore. It is like the first year was basically promotion, 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 product, product, product. And the second year was roughly the same, but also, hey look, Try is coming out and we have some actors. Try sort of morphed last year into more of a concert type promotional event. And I expect that's what it's going to be this year. Most of the announcements we had last year, which were a few figures and stuff like that, that was more just stuff that was on display. There weren't really any announcements. They didn't really talk about it or anything. I'm kind of expecting the same again. But they've also been much more open about announcing stuff different. Like for example, the Digivolving Spirits aren't out till November. They don't really need to announce those now. They could be announcing those at DigiFest if they wanted to, and that's still going to be three months out from release.
Well, you've got so many fans at DigiFest. The DigiFest is a place to sell stuff more than announce stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there will be stuff in the lobby to show stuff off, and Milo pointed out they probably will do some sort of preview of the stage play.
And there's going to be something new for Try.
Yeah.
There.
I mean, it could just be a clip, but I mean, I'm not really expecting product announcements minus what we got last year, which is a few things sitting there in the lobby.
Yeah.
Like I believe that's where we first saw the Jury Leomon figure.
Yeah.
And it was just sitting there. I mean, it had a placard, but it's not like they announced it existed. It was just there. And that's also where they did the CSA D3s. I mean, stuff was just sitting there. It's kind of ludicrous when you think about it.
I'm seeing a couple things on chat. I wanted to clarify quick. Someone asked who I was. My name. Maybe they came in late. I did want to. My website
go ahead.
My website is digimon.firstagent.net. I did episode recaps and summaries and discussions, reviews, that sort of thing for every episode of the franchise. So yeah, digimon.firstagent.net is my website.
Okay.
I've also been writing fan fiction since like 2001. So I've got a bunch of those online too.
Yeah, I gave up on reading fan fiction a long time ago. I think I got tired with that one weird, like, it started off like as a basic drama story, and then it's like, are they bringing Final Fantasy crap?
Oh, geez.
It's like, I like Final Fantasy, but at some point it was like, I was just trying to read a story, and now it's whatever the hell's going on.
I think that was my first exposure to With the Will, because I wasn't as involved with the fandom when you started when you started up, but I was randomly. I
wasn't involved with the fandom when the site started up.
I'm
only involved by accident.
Yeah, but I was fishing up a story and I was doing a search and I found With the Will because there was an old thread archived on there about their favorite fan fiction authors, and my name came like a bunch of people were mentioning my name.
But yeah, the only reason I run With the Will is because of an accident.
That's a nice ego boost.
Oh. But yeah, I literally only run the place.
That was the first time I heard of With the Will.
Yeah, it existed for 4 or 5 years before I ran it. I purely run it because of an accident. But yeah, let's see. Let's see. They're wondering if we'll see the date.
Milo wants me to make a Hiroaki Ishida joke. I don't like to do that. I have a thing. I had a thing on Tumblr about Hiroaki Ishida facts, like Chuck Norris facts, but I don't like to joke about him being the original Chosen because that was a legitimate theory really early in the fandom. I don't want to confuse people. I think the Hiroaki Ishida fact I had that was like Hiroaki Ishida is not an original Chosen. He is all of the original Chosen. That's how awesome he is.
Oh God! See, now I'm being reminded of some of the old facts we used to know back in the old days.
You know who Gabumon was? Obviously, he's a Digidestined.
No, here's one of the ones I remember, and you may remember. And this actually depends. Were you there at the beginning?
Very close to it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. So you may know this.
I was participating online, but I didn't really.
Okay.
I mean, I started writing fan fiction when 02 was still on, but it took me a little while to get into the series. So.
Do you remember what everyone thought 02 was going to be about before it started? It was going to be.
I remember. I couldn't tell. I remember that when I saw the original promo image, I couldn't identify TK or Kari.
What everyone thought it was going to be, and this, it has to be some ancient mistranslated crap.
Mm-hmm.
It was that everyone thought it was going to be the same Digimon but new kids.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I have no idea how that started. I don't know, but I believe I recognized TK and Kari in the original, and I just don't remember. At this point, we're more than 15 years out.
Yeah, I mean, I remember seeing the image going, okay, these must be 5 new kids, and that was the first. I didn't catch that. It's like, oh yeah, they're like it was an actual continuation.
Yeah, well, because I mean that was never that unexpected with anime for it to just start over.
Right.
I mean, even with a franchise where you get the same characters, it might just start over. I would watch the Tenchi OVAs. And then there's Tenchi Universe, which is the same characters but starts over. And then Tenchi in Tokyo, which is the same characters again, but starts over.
My first experience with the Tenchi franchise was Tenchi in Tokyo.
You know what? I never hated Tokyo as much as most people did. I like Tokyo.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Well, hopefully we get OVA for
it's the Mako effect. New girl, so she's bad.
Well, but that show did push on what the concept of the franchise actually was. So it was kind of hilarious to see people freak out. Because the entire concept of the franchise was guy, these girls around cause problems and chase after the guy. And what does Tokyo do? He specifically picks a girl who's not any of them.
Yeah, it's like normal girl. He's all in on that.
Yeah, and of course,
She didn't end up being normal, but at first, yeah.
See, I'm looking forward to OVA 4. I'm looking forward to get back to that universe, even if number 3 was a clusterfuck. Okay, so you guys think up a. Okay,
I haven't seen Tenchi in so long.
So you guys think up questions, because then we're gonna finish up. I still like Tenchi. I'm not saying it's award-winning. It is fun to sit down and watch. It's nice to relax, and
it sort of gets diluted now. Once you had that big wave of harem anime, it sort of feels old hat now.
Well, but
it's like that was.
But it's like good. Exactly. But that's the other thing is because there's so much crap in that genre.
Yes.
There actually is something of value when you find something good.
Yeah.
Like, and I've said it on the site, there's a lot of crap harem shows. And the more crap they are, the more you see breasts or ass. But then you get something like I like High School DxD, and it's weird because it's very good, but it also shows more than any other harem franchise. And for some reason, that just amuses me. Okay, Juggernaut wants to know what episode am I up to on APPMON. I'm actually up to episode 5 because I've been waiting to watch it so that when me and Victor go over it, I'm actually watching it fresh for the first time. Um, I don't know how much longer I'll stick to that, but it's been long enough at this point that I might as well stick with it. Nico wants to know what the hell is that trailer. I don't
When
know.
the hell is that trailer? Yeah.
Oh, when the hell? I mean, look, we know. Let's say we're getting it in December. We might not get a trailer until DigiFest, or even after. I mean, I'm not really worried
I'm
about the
trying to
trailer.
remember, when did we get the first proper trailer for Reunion? I feel like that wasn't until late summer that we got, something real, not like the opening thing they did in May, but
It may have actually been DigiFest.
yeah.
It may have been the first few minutes at DigiFest. I may be wrong though.
That sounds about right though.
Justin wants to know why December, why not January? Because they've been pretty consistent about it being 2017 at this point.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell's that trailer? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. How about some thoughts on what you guys think Part 5 could be about based on the synopsis so far? Part 5 will very obviously be Mako's funeral.
Yeah, they're going to start. They're going to start out with the funeral. They're going
And
to
the O2 kids will be there. And
Yeah.
then the camera will pan back and we'll see it's Takata watching television.
Yeah.
Do you know how
I
many?
always
Do you
said
know?
that's
Do you know how many
that.
people are saying that that's what they think Try's gonna end on?
Yeah, that's not what it's going to be. That's not what it would end on, but that would be the greatest commentary track ever, is Takato showing Jerry Try. And Jerry having never seen the show before.
You know what's
Like
weird?
he's trying to explain it as they go along, and he's kind of confused too.
You know, that just reminded me. That was always seen as a dub-only thing until Hunters.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody just left a comment like last week on my site and was like, "Are you sure that's supposed to be canon? That Takata it being a TV show?"
Well, it was one of those things where they did it, but they never specifically mention the characters or him watching the show. They sort of just bring up him being a Digimon fan and then move on.
Right. Right.
It's not
And
until Hunters that he actually says something about it. And I don't remember
Yes.
what he says, but whatever he says is enough that you can say that, yes, he watches Digimon Adventure.
He knew an awful lot about Taichi and Daisuke in that scene.
Yes,
he didn't come into this one cold.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then you also had that bonus dungeon in the PSP game where Takato's freaking out because he's working with Daichi.
Yeah,
That was so cute.
but there is a difference between a game, which many people don't necessarily take as something that counts, and actually showing up in the show. That's just interesting.
Yeah.
But yes, that is.
Yeah, I think we can take that as canon now. That it was.
That's strange because that was always one of those things people would argue about. No, that's only in the English version of the show. That doesn't count. It counts now.
It's weird. It's weird that we're getting Tamer's canon in Hunters.
Yeah, that's strange. I want to say the only reason we had oh fuck, I can't remember the fucker's name. The only reason we had Granny talking was I think his actor's in it also. And now I'm checking to make sure. Let's see, Granny. His voice.
Oh, Granny.
Granny. I'm horrible with pronunciation.
God, I forgot Granny spoke in that.
And I don't care to change. Who the hell did his voice? Okay. It's Joe's actor again.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, that explains it. And of course, just to point out the joke further, Masami Kikuchi, who has done I mean,
he's Tenchi, isn't it?
Yes, he's Tenchi. He's Joe.
Yeah.
He's Joe's brothers. I believe he's Izzy's dad. I believe he's Cherry. He's Cherrymon. He's Dolphin McCoy. He's Granny. He's Nemon.
Mm-hmm.
He's Karada. He's Belfamon. I believe he's Akari's dad.
He's the Derek Stephen Prince of the Japanese version.
Yes, but he is Tenchi, and I keep in the back of my head I keep thinking he's gonna pop up somewhere and try. And I don't know why.
Uh, something something girlfriend joke.
See, that'd be good. But yes, he. At this point, the only thing he has not been in is Try and APPMON, as far as I'm aware. And I really hope he at least cameos so that tradition continues. Because I believe
he's got to be now I need to see him in APPMON.
Well, I believe at
every other voice actor in the industry is showing up in APPMON.
Well, that's the thing. I'm trying to remember if he's the only one at this point, or of a handful who has actually been in everything. Although he might not have been in X Evolution now that I think about it. I don't know. But yeah, he shows up in so much that I would like him to at least cameo.
Mm-hmm. That is something I really admire, is when you do have voice actors on both sides who are in everything. Like, I love it that there are voice actors in the dub who have been in all 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Not very many, but there's a couple.
Well, here's what current fans wouldn't know. It used to be the joke that Colleen O'Shaughnessy was just Sora.
Yeah.
She was one of the few actors who didn't play any bit parts or anything, and now she's been at least off the top of my head, 3 main characters.
3 characters, and I think she did Monotamon as well in Fusion.
Okay. So, but yeah, that's shockingly unique, because up until the point of Savers being dubbed, she hadn't done any. Oh wait, that's actually wrong now that I think about it. I think she was one of the students in the movie, but like such a bit part that you can't even be sure it's her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's mostly it. I don't think we have. I'll give them one more chance for questions, and then we'll let you go.
While we're waiting, I do want to plug one thing. Like I
said,
go
ahead. Plug all you want.
Earlier, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I said I was doing some panels with some of the voice actors. I did want to plug this because I think this is really exciting. A couple of the panels I'm doing this summer. So at a con called Kitsune Con, it's in Green Bay, Wisconsin, July 14th through 16th. I will be on a panel. We're doing a 2-hour Digimon panel where it's going to be me, Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Derek Stephen Prince, Paul St. Peter, who does Wormmon and Leomon, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, who does a lot of the writing and directing for the first 4 seasons. She's also the voice of Ophanimon and a bunch of different mother characters. Brian Beacock, who's Takato, Bokomon, and Data Squad Agumon, and Steve Bloom, who is Guillemon,
just say Spike Spiegel and move on.
Yeah, basically. But I'm trying to keep it Digimon. Steve Bloom's going to stop by too. So yeah, all of these actors and me doing a 2-hour Digimon panel. It's going to be I'm so excited for this.
Make sure you record it. We'll put it up on the site.
We are going to try to get this recorded. Yeah, I don't think it's something they usually do, but for this, I think they want to make an exception. Also, I'm doing a panel with Jeff Nimoy this summer at GeekCon in Madison. That's my hometown convention. It's August 25th through the 27th. Well, so I'll be doing a panel with Jeff Nimoy, and Robert Axelrod, who voices Wizardmon and Armadillomon and Lord Zed, is also at the convention.
Robert Axelrod has the best panels.
Yeah, he does do good panels. He's not on the Digimon panel, but he'll have other panels.
Robert Axelrod is the type of dude where the panels are never full, but you always get a few people spread out. He'll have everyone come to the front, and then he will sit down and just tell you stories.
Yeah.
Like if Robert Axelrod is ever at a convention you're interviewing, you need to go to his panels, because it's literally just stories about years in the industry, talking about. Like, he seems to be one of the few people who has a high opinion of Haim Saban.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that seems to be that Fox wanted to recast the villains for the movie. The original Power Rangers movie.
Oh, okay.
And Saban apparently fought to make sure that the original voices would be in there, to be in the movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so if Axelrod's ever at a convention near any of you, make sure you go to it because his panels are the best. I mean,
And he's in so much stuff too.
yeah, but yeah, the like single actor panels, especially for ones who aren't like the biggest well-known voice actors, they're
Hmm.
always like these small personal panels where you get tons of stories that just wouldn't be told at a big panel.
Yeah.
And and Axelrod, he's just great. That guy.
Hmm.
We're
I've met him a few times.
yeah,
He's very cool.
yeah. Um, so it looks like questions are basically up. Anything further you want to discuss?
No, not really. It was I wanted to make sure I get that out.
Yeah.
The convention
No,
would be very mad at me if I didn't mention
uh,
if I didn't mention those.
when we're done, I'm gonna give you my email address. Make sure you email me the panel stuff, and I'll make sure it's in the show notes so that people can
Okay.
make sure that they are everything. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I think we're shockingly close in opinion on much of this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so where do you want to see APPMON and the franchise at large go before we let you go?
I just want to see them keep going with, not necessarily AppMon as a series, but just to keep that Digimon universe going and continue to have stuff to draw new people in without that burden of having a whole bunch of old information. And then just, if they want to keep releasing at least games and such for the older crowd, I would totally be happy with that.
Yeah, they do need to, and I think yeah, it makes sense. I do think at some point, probably sooner rather than later, and they've sort of already started to fall into doing it, it's going to be incredibly hard for them to try to really keep them separate to any degree. And they've already sort of given up on it.
Yeah, with the CARDDASS stuff, yeah.
Well, not even in the CARDDASS, it's in the normal AppMon card game also.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was one thing when it was just when it was just Wink and Miss It cameos in the manga.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was something else when it was like, oh, this is an arcade game. You can have a few guest characters. It's in the normal card game at this point.
Yeah, and it's like I was expecting that to kind of be a one-off thing, and they keep adding more.
Well, that was the other
to
thing.
it.
Like when they announced the Series 4 of the DCD cards were coming out, it's like, wait, they're doing more Digimon?
Yeah.
And not only that, they're doing more cards for characters who were already there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but yeah, I think the franchise, I think we're stronger than it's probably been since '02 ended, I would say.
Yeah, I think so too. What I'm interested I'm gonna ask this kind of volley this back. Do you think they could do an original Digimon series catering towards the tri audience, like without the adventure characters? Like if they tried to do like a Sabers type thing again, only get it right. Do you think they could pull that off?
I think they could. I think the main problem is I think the fans want more action than that type of show would give.
Yeah.
Like I've made the joke in a few different episodes that if they ever spun Mimi off, it would just be the anime and manga series Galko-chan.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's more what a Tri TV show would be. Not necessarily the raunchy comedy portion,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it would not be. There's a reason why they went with a more movie format. It's because you can get
Yeah.
away with only doing one or two battles in a quote unquote episode.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't. I don't think you try wouldn't work as a TV series.
No, I mean
Yeah.
it just wouldn't work, and I think they could do something like that, but I'm not sure how much the fans who enjoy Try would accept that because it would be sort of like saying, do you like Haruhi? Here
Yeah.
is Haruhi, and occasionally a Digimon shows up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I love Haruhi, but that's not what I watch Digimon for. And they can get away with doing it in movie format because each one of those is a wink wink episode.
And also and also because we'll accept a lot because we already know these characters.
Yes.
Like they don't have to do the heavy lifting of reintroducing us to a bunch of new characters.
They don't have to follow even the rules that the franchise has set up because
Yeah.
It's just the like, here's the thing: you could have done Try without the Digimon if you wanted to. It could just be the continuing adventures of these kids, and the
Yeah.
Digimon are gone.
Mm-hmm.
But and it might do well, but fans wouldn't be happy with it.
Yeah.
So, but and that's to some. I mean,
I think the Digimon are being written better in Try than they were in
oh,
Adventure.
they are. They're very personable. They have very distinct personalities.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also like that's what Try would be if it was a TV show. It would be.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't think doing the Try format. I just meant like a Digimon series, not necessarily pattern after Try, but just sort of aiming for that
But what I mean
older
is
audience. But yeah,
but I mean is what is the older audience? I'm not sure. It's sort of like
I
and yeah, I bring up Gundam as an example a lot because as a franchise, it's a franchise that doesn't really necessarily seem to know what it's doing most of the time.
mm-hmm.
Like the character designer for APPMON is the character designer I believe from Gundam Build Fighters, which in theory is a Gundam series designed for kids that is basically just there to market the plastic models.
Yeah.
Except the people who seem to like the show the most are the older fans.
Yeah.
That is the way Build Fighters has gone. Older fans basically are the market for a show that was designed specifically to get little kids into Gundam.
Do we know how well AppMon is doing at getting little kids involved in the fandom?
Based on the few people
Or at least getting them to watch.
based
Yeah.
on the few people we know in Japan, products are AppMon products seem to get more shelves now than they did half a year ago, or when the show was newer. The only thing that we can see that seems to have not done well was the game, and it seems to have
Mm-hmm.
done better once the price dropped. It looked like the price was quite high originally, even compared to other 3DS games.
Mm-hmm.
Like it looks like the price was higher than Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it looks like as the game has gone down in price, it's sold more.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so it looks like it's doing like,
Um,
we're still getting the Shootmon figure. That figure
yeah.
line has continued on far longer than most Digimon figure lines has gone,
But is
especially in
that
recent
is
memory.
that is that priced towards a younger audience though? Is what I'm asking, or is that
A lot of
more of a
a
collectible?
lot. Let me pull it up just to make sure. But a lot of the stuff has been priced for kids.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Digimon.
Is like, is it
Oh, okay, okay,
are we sure
okay.
are we sure it's kids buying
Okay.
this stuff,
Well,
or is
no.
it older
Well,
fans
to
who
be
have
to be fair,
gotten into
we can
Atmon?
never know for a fact, but price wise, like for example, the Globemon figure,
Mm-hmm.
the MSRP is 1,800 yen. That's about $15.
Okay.
Um, the original Apple Drive, the MSRP was about $42.
Mm-hmm.
The Hackmon figure is $10.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't collector like one of the more expensive ones was Revivemon, and even then that's maybe 25, 26,
Okay.
and that was a relatively big figure. But it's like if you can go in and get a Dokemon figure for $10.
Yeah.
That's not a fancy figure aimed at the collector, and even like
Mm-hmm.
Shootmon, that's 17 or 18.
Yeah.
These are reasonable action figure prices for figures that look nice, but they're not super detailed.
Mm-hmm.
So while I can't say for a fact it's kids buying them, they're certainly not priced and.
They're not targeting. They're not. Yeah. They're targeting them towards kids at least.
I think the best example is the Apple Drive Duo. Now
Mm-hmm.
that's obviously expensive to get. That's more like 50. But to
Yeah.
get one of the covers to make it one of the other characters, it's only like $6. So like if you get Haru's Apple Drive Duo and you want it to be Aries, that's
Mm-hmm.
$5 to buy the pieces.
Okay. I didn't know those were like removable. That's cool.
Yeah. The original one, I believe they only sold Haru's, and you
Mm-hmm.
would buy the clips that and pop off
Okay.
pieces. But yeah, so they're also not releasing stuff fast enough for it to be a collector's market.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so like when the Duo comes out in June, they're not. You can actually buy the cover for Haru's, so that if you bought Eugen's, you don't have to
Mm.
buy Haru's.
Yeah.
That's not collector mentality product wise.
Right. Right.
So it feels like the products are more kid friendly.
Unless you want the CDs.
Oh well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: if you're a kid
Yeah.
and you go, "Oh man, I really like this new fourth APPMON song,"
Mm-hmm.
you get your mom or dad to take you to the store, and oh look, the CD's $10.
Yeah.
You're not gonna care about the band crap because the band
Yeah.
crap is for fans of the band.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the
I was,
base.
I was mostly joking
Oh
here,
no,
but
no, I know, but it's less of a joke when you realize that that is what happens with this stuff. Like what was it? It was the Tripart 4 Blu-ray. It came with a lotto slip to try to get guaranteed entry to Digifest.
oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure there's someone who bought a stack of them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so but yeah, I think the franchise. I'm trying to figure out if it needs more focus or less focus, because for all my jokes about Gundam not knowing what it's doing, it still does sell.
Yeah.
I mean, do you realize how many Gundam shows are running right now? I actually had a friend check because at one point I was actually going to bring it up as a topic as to just how much crap a franchise can have.
Mm-hmm.
And he got lost trying to figure it out. We came up with Gundam The Origin has its 5th OVA film this fall. Basically, Gundam The Origin's try.
Mm-hmm.
Twilight Access is a web OVA that starts streaming soon for a few episodes. Gundam Thunderbolt is a web OVA that gets turned into a movie that has season 2 streaming now. Gundam Build Fighters, they've just announced they've announced a new OVA and a new series. They've announced a movie for Reconquista G. IBO just ended, and Gundam Unicorn's TV edit just ended in Japan, and it's still airing in the US. And I asked him about manga and novels, and he said he wouldn't do that one because no, like they announced 5 new mangas a month ago.
Yeah.
And
We were talking about that last week with May, weren't you?
Yeah, and I wasn't joking when I said it either.
Yeah.
They literally went, this magazine will have 5 new Gundam mangas this year.
Yeah.
A few people messaged me going, that was funny, Mark. You should do that again. Like, I'm not making a joke. But yeah, but it's like
if APPMON can have 2, Gundam can have 5.
yes. But yeah, I think at some point someone is going to look at V-Tamer and go, we have something done already. Like, this is done. Everyone loves it. Why isn't this just adapted into anime?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't think of anything. I mean, that is ready made to sell to us. Because here's the thing: you could announce it before you and I. This is kind of pie in the sky thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Announce it before it tries over. Hell, announce it at a Digifest.
Yeah.
And have Tai Chi's original actress come out, and have it be her for V-Tamer.
Yeah. That would be really cool.
I mean, it's one of those.
And that's the nice thing about V-Tamer is, I mean, it's not the exact same. It's not the same personality, but it's basically the same character.
Yeah.
It's Taichi.
Yeah, I mean, that manga is ready made to be an anime. I mean, as much as I'm saying it because I want to see it, that's not a joke. That it's ready made.
Yeah.
And you can have special episodes based on those manga volumes where you had the crossovers with other seasons.
Yeah.
Prepare toys ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have the old manga, the old Magnamon toy ready to reprint, where the gold egg,
mm-hmm.
where it had Vmon. Do that.
Yeah, you can adapt it however you need to for whatever you're trying to get.
Well, because V-Tamer is very good, but when you really look at it, it is very much a skeleton of a story.
Yeah.
Everything they do is the main plot, basically, or towards the main plot. You could expand that easily, or, like, here's the thing. V-Tamer could be anything from a 26-episode series to 400 episodes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like it could be very short or it could be
Yeah,
One Piece.
like you could do a straight adaptation and be done with it in 26 episodes, completely done, or as 4 or 5 movies,
Mm-hmm.
or you could have it run forever because there's a bigger plot.
Yeah, but I would like to. I would like to see something announced to all of us before Try is over. Like I want to know what. I want them to announce what they're doing
Okay,
next.
here's the thing. Okay, do you think when Try ends, it immediately is followed up with another premium animation style series, done in roughly the same fashion?
No, I don't think they're going to do another premium animation series. They might get another animation series, but I don't think it's going to be quite as pretty as Try.
Well, I don't see. See, I'm torn on that because it's worked out so well for them. And you remember, it's not like it's their TV production people doing it. It's what's it called? Typhoon Graphics is doing much of the work.
Yeah,
So they're not even using their own people to do it. What wouldn't it make sense to continue that and then just continue doing shows on TV?
that could work. Yeah, yeah.
Because clearly, because here's the thing: how many of these damn pop-up shops, cafes? Clearly, it's doing well.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't seem like they would want to give up that cash flow. Is the thing.
It's well, the question is do they trust themselves to do something beyond adventure?
See, but here's the thing: it doesn't have to be. It could very easily be Digimon
they
Adventure Try 4.
they could, yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
could literally
They
just be
find a nice pun for the number 4, yeah.
Digimon
They
Adventure,
could
Digimon Adventure Quattro. I mean, it could just be forever and ever and ever. I
at
hope
some
it's not.
yeah. Yeah. I didn't think I would still be doing System Restore in 2017, I'll say that much.
I mean, think about it this way. Okay, they did Eureka 7,
Mhm.
and then they did a movie that was basically unrelated, minus having the same designs.
Yeah.
And then they did a sequel to the original show, and now they're doing a prequel slash remake. They don't really need to leave Adventure if they don't want to.
No. That's true. They could do a heck, they could do a series with the originals.
See, if they did that, I would expect it to be more like a web OVA.
Yeah.
We're,
That
we're,
there,
we're
there are a bunch of complications with that.
yeah, like
And we
like
would be and I don't think they'd be aware of all the complications with that. We would be the ones picking out all of the potential problems with they'd run into with that. But
yeah. If they did it, the way to do the quote unquote prequel would be do 4 15 to 20 minute episodes and then clip it together into a movie at the end.
yeah.
D-
Yeah.
I think doing an actual series of that would be the worst idea they could have.
Yeah. Yeah, potentially.
Okay,
They yeah.
we'll take this one more question since there's one or two questions that people have thrown in.
Oh,
Do we think the APPMON anime will continue if the toys don't sell as well? I think at this point APPMON's either going to stop or it's going to continue with a new title. I don't think at this point. I think at this point
yeah.
any decision's been made. We just don't know about it.
I think Aptly Monsters is that's 52 episodes. It's going to stop, and we're going to get something a new. We're going if it's good enough, they will announce a new series.
But the thing is it could very well be Aptly Monsters
It
Burst.
could still it could still be the characters and stuff or the Appmon involved. They just will call it something besides
Yeah,
Aptly
yes,
Monsters.
yeah. The show Digimon Universe Aptly Monsters, that is the end.
Yeah. If we get
Now
Aptly Monsters,
it could
yeah,
even
I mean, we could get Aptly Monsters 02 or
yes,
whatever, but
it could be the same kids. It could be kids of the kids. It could be something completely new. But the show as it exists is going to end. Of course, that's kind of stupid because it's not even really the same show it was 10 episodes ago at this point. But you know what I mean.
yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah. Um, then someone asked, given how Crunchyroll treat on Try, do we think Try will be rerun on television in episodic form after the final film has been released? And then he puts in parentheses, including Japan. I believe that's exactly why they did that.
I think so too.
Because here's the
I
thing.
think that was the intention.
Yeah. Thus far, minus maybe one off the top of my head, every premium animation series has been re-edited to run on television in Japan. Ghost in the Shell Arise, Gundam Unicorn. I'm not sure they're going to do it with Gundam The Origin just because it's a bit shorter and a bit more iffier on it. I don't think they did it with Akito the Exiled, but I believe that's exactly what the point of doing it was.
I think the episodic form, I total from the moment they did it, it's like they're trying to get this shown on television somewhere.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like they didn't make an intro to show to us on Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they make bad choices sometimes, but they're not that stupid. Will it air on TV here? I don't know.
Too hard to say. You never know if the DVDs get really big. You never know if Adult Swim might say we'll give this a whirl. But
I mean, it'd be easy to say no, but then you think think about Toonami. It's like when it tries over, it's gonna be roughly 26 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, a half year.
When they started doing episodes, I was really, or even when they were talking about doing it as a TV series, I was really hoping that it would end up being exactly 27 episodes because it's 3 cubed. I'm a nerd like that.
Well, you may get your wish. We don't know. The entire reason for this delay could be the next one will be longer.
If the next 2 movies are 5 episodes, or both 5 episodes, I got it.
Yeah. Or we could try part 7. I mean, I joke about it, but I'm not kidding that every single other premium animation series has been extended.
It's a distinct possibility.
Yeah, it's one.
I think they can resolve everything in 2 movies.
Oh,
I don't know if you want them.
I think they could resolve it in 1 if they really wanted to.
One would be really hard, but
because
one would be hard. One would be hard because at some point they do have to get the 02 kids back into it. If it was just Meikumon and Mysterious Man and whatever's going on with Hackmon and them, yeah, they can do that in 1 movie.
Nah, see, I could do it in 1 minute. Well, not like literally 1 minute, but I could give you the plot in 1 minute that would finish it off in 1 episode. Meiko's dead. Meikumon freaks out. All the Digimon show up, including the 02 kids who have been trying to stop stuff elsewhere. It ends, and then the last half hour of the movie is everyone's fucking around. I mean, you
don't think they're gonna quite go with that.
No, no, of course they're not going to. But I mean, if they really wanted to finish it off quickly, they're kind of.
I will say. I do think I wish they had kept the potential suspense over whether Mako is dead or not. I wish they had kept that and not necessarily put her on the poster just to make us wonder, because she's the only character. She's not epilogue tied, so they could kill her.
They could kill they could kill any of them. The epilogue doesn't have to count. I mean, other anime have tossed stuff out.
Yeah, but they've sort of said that they're trying to work.
Well, no, they've said they're moving to the world of the epilogue, meaning Digimon and humans coming together.
Yeah.
They could very easily toss out the epilogue itself, or just not mention the exact stuff of it happening.
Oh no, I don't think they're going to mention exactly what happens. I think it's going to have, Try's going to end without talking about too much about the epilogue, but I think it's still going to be leading in that direction.
Oh, no. I completely agree. But I mean, some people seem to think that we're going to end with them walking up on the hill as adults to meet up.
Yeah, no. Don't do that.
Yeah. The epilogue is going to be treated much like any relation stuff has been, as a ghostly possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're about done, and we stayed a lot longer than we probably should have.
We finished the bulk of this a while. We finished the main body of the notes a while ago. Yeah.
Hey, it's been a fun discussion.
It's like, oh hey, we're gonna be done in 2 hours.
Yeah.
This is shorter than I thought.
Well, I'd actually planned it that way because I figured, you have a kid, I don't want to keep you. But it's like then we got caught up in talking, which is a good talk though.
Yeah, definitely.
And oddly, we still have almost the entire audience we started with 3 hours ago, almost.
I think we have more, yeah.
Yeah. So we appreciate all you guys coming. Subscribe.
I gotta go back and reread all the comments that were being made, because there was a really interesting try discussion going on in the background.
Yeah, you guys subscribe to YouTube. We appreciate you guys listening. Um, Donate to With the Will, because I do use that stuff for the site to make it better.
My yeah, I do affiliates on my site too, and the money for the Tri DVDs just came in. It was very helpful.
Oh wait, we have one more question. Someone who's trying to get our attention. Admir wants to know, what are our theories about why TK and Hikari weren't with the O2 kids at the time of the attack?
Who says they aren't? Maybe they got away.
Maybe it was them who attacked the others.
Maybe
And the problem
we
is
don't
now.
know anything.
See, the problem is now I regret saying that, because the poster shows Hikari potentially going evil, and now people are gonna wonder.
Fall down mode took out the O2
But
kids.
yeah,
Done.
but at least in the context of Try Part 1 through 4, the O2 kids being attacked isn't really about them being attacked. It's about just they're no longer here. They're doing something else.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys showing up. I really appreciate AR staying for basically at this point 3 hours. Um, I will not be putting up the recording tonight because I just don't. At this point, I'm going to go eat. Um, Appreciate everyone
Yeah,
listening.
I haven't eaten either. I haven't eaten either, and I'm 2 hours ahead of you.
Ooh. Um, I'm glad I did not try to rush the podcast for yesterday, because we would have missed all the news that showed up in the last
Yeah.
24 hours.
Whoever you get to guest host next week would have been able to take care of it.
Yep. I need to figure out who that's going to be. So I appreciate all you guys showing up, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye.